Welcome one, welcome all to DeFi Crypto and Airdrops, the Red Pill, where on every Thursday night we get on here and have a couple drinks. Whoever wants to smoke can smoke, and we talk about pretty much anything and everything that you're not supposed to talk about, and it gets spicy. So if you have little kids in the room, wear some headphones, or they're going to be corrupted for the rest of the Yeah, earmuffs. Earmuffs. So yeah, let's. It looks like Colin's still working with his camera and stuff like that. So we'll let him. There he goes. He figured it out. We'll bring this up. We'll add him to the stage.
Hey.
Hapu, I guess, is going to be joining us here in a bit. David's supposed to be joining us, and possibly a gentleman that Colin introduced me to named Total Tool. So we'll see.
I hope he joins. Yeah, he's a little resistant to the idea of everybody should be a billionaire. He's a little resistant right now, but that's reasonable based off what he told us. Like, he doesn't want to have his whole.
It sounded like he just was frustrated because he felt like it didn't do any good to like change any hearts and minds. And once you mentioned to him and I explained to him, like, that's not what this is about. This is about having open, adult conversations without getting your feel bads hurt. Yeah. Being able to talk about religion, be able to talk about politics, be able to talk about whatever, and and sometimes we have opposing views, sometimes we don't. But when we do,
his business that he's in, he said he doesn't want his views to impact that. And if his name is out there and he's making these comments, he doesn't want that to be out in the ether, because some of his clients are a little more, sensitive to this.
What up, beautiful Hapu?
Hello.
What up, Hapu?
Greetings from Finland. So those that don't know, Colin and Hapu, I put them next to each other because they're in love.
She's my best investment.
Got to put my foam roller down there so I can put my feet up on it. Be a lazy piece of shit. All right. So, Colin, you've been hitting me up with some topics. Let's go ahead and kick this thing off. Like, what do you want to start the conversation?
I got no memory. I've been coding, so I want to start with AI. Okay.
Go ahead. I have something I want to ask you about. I've been trying to build a Claude bot and doing all kinds of shit, but go ahead.
So I'm not doing Claude bot. I'm a coder with over 20 years experience, right? And I stopped coding when I left Ava Labs in December 2020. Okay. I haven't coded since, really. Like, obviously I opened up a notepad, tried to get myself to do it. And it just wasn't, I don't like coding, to be honest with you. I did it for 20 years because it paid really well and it was easy as fuck.
Yeah.
But the for me, like, it just, some things are
I
just
was going to say, it's not easy as fuck, but continue.
For some people, like, they've got an ear for music, and some people got the ability to draw.
My brother, he's a coder, and he just loves the.
Yeah, like,
he's self-taught.
Some people are wired like that. Some people are wired like that.
Yeah, I started high school. It was no big deal. Like, I technically learned coding a little before then, and in like third grade was probably the first time I was exposed to it in the 90s, and like it just clicked. Like, it was never an issue. But like, I'd go to high school as an internship at a physics laboratory, and I'm going there and I'm getting paid like twice as much as all my other high school students just for an internship. And like, I'm like, dude, this is money. And all the like college students were like explaining to me like computer science topics because they're computer science graduates. And it was just like not an issue for me. It was never a problem. This is not bragging. It's just like some people can do certain things. I hated it though. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually kind of boring. Shock. And so I never really liked it. And then when I didn't have to do it anymore, I stopped. But what I liked about it was building and the result. But what I didn't like about it was the minutia of coding, right? Well, I am building a product, and I never would have ever in a million years said this before this. I have been dabbling, of course, in AI and AI coding, but the newest version of Claude Code, Opus 4.6 on Max subscription, which is like $200 a month, is so good that it's like having a team of 10 developers, one documenter, one PM, and one sysops guy. So like 13 people underneath you, right? All working at breakneck speed. And
like at super efficiency.
I mean, it would have taken that team a year to do what I think I'm going to be able to finish in a month.
Shit. Is that why people are buying Macs so quick now? Like people are, they're like flying off the shelves. Yeah.
Well, the one video that I was watching where a guy was setting up one of the Claude bots, he was using that little cube, that little mini Mac or whatever. And I think it's just because it's just nice and compact, and it's not like a laptop that takes up a lot of space. They can just have it sitting there with their regular computer up, and they can interact with it because like I finally got it to where I can use WhatsApp to talk with it. And so I'm talking to Claude through WhatsApp, but you can use like a bunch of other apps.
Telegram is what a lot of people are using.
Telegram is another one. But I'll tell you, I mean, I told it the show schedule, like when all the shows are. I told it like all my little tasks that I do throughout the day with building the thumbnails and the descriptions and all that stuff. And I said, build me a schedule and then build in reminders 15 minutes prior to all of them so I don't forget anything. And then I said, keep in mind that later on I want to automate this to where you do all the descriptions, all the thumbnails, that you post all the stuff, take care of the social media, and it just did it all. Like in a matter of a couple.
That would have been like 3 guys that you paid, and they were all junior, and they all did that. Like, you know what I mean? Like you'd have one like junior graphics artist doing this, and then you'd have like one this whole team that you would have needed before. Hi, David.
Hey, Colin.
Is just been replaced, and it's more efficient than that team. Because how long would it have taken that like junior like thumbnail maker, graphics designer guy to make those graphics? And then you go back and say, fix this and fix that, and I don't like this and I don't like that. Come up with multiple versions. It would have taken a few days at least per graphic for a lot of them, especially like the important things like branding. You can do this in an hour. Like this is a force multiple. See, Hapu's an artist. So she doesn't like this. I'm going to lay that out there.
Bro,
for
you're
our
right.
tastes, we don't need more than that. We're not going to hire anymore, because why am I going to spend like $2,000 to get a branding portfolio from a guy in India, right? When I could spend $20 a month and get what is basically equivalent, but I could also like change it as I want as it goes.
It's better.
To be
It's better, bro. It's better. Don't you think?
Better. I hate to say it, Apu. It's better. Like it just is.
Yeah.
She's like, how dare you?
She's an artist in general. Like
best result comes when artist makes the groundwork, and then you feed it to the AI. So there's originality there.
Sometimes,
so I don't
and
see.
I've done that. I don't. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I know that it's hard
okay.
to know, but like the.
Well, Colin, turn up your volume on your mic a little bit if you can, because everybody else is a little bit louder than you.
Okay, is this better? It's just far away. Yeah.
Did you get ASMR?
Oh yeah. No, my mic is a little farther away than it used to be. I actually can adjust this right now. In fact, I would appreciate it if you guys could give me a thumbs up, thumbs down on that. But
yeah, Colin, just put that hand back up there again, and then go back and forth.
Jeff,
and then do this.
Jeff's getting a little.
I think that makes it get louder. This makes it get louder.
Yeah,
it's already up all the way on the mic. Like I think it
tickled the balls a little bit.
I'm a little surprised. Quiet.
You gotta do this.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Huh. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, basically, like it's man, I don't know. Like I can't make it any louder than this.
No, you sound okay.
it's okay.
You sound okay. It's just you're just not as loud.
Oh, okay. So I'm actually really loud too. Like my neighbors are like, that's what's even more shocking. How about if I move it? Sorry, more towards my face. There we go. Anyway, so basically, it's I took a graphics designer and I had a brand that I wanted to do. I never followed through with it, okay? But I had a brand idea that I wanted to go with, and that was like this. It was originally called Cummy Bears, and it was a club for my Twitch stream. And then people were like, "Ew, Cummy Bears."
Did you say
I was like,
Cummy
"Okay, that
Bears?
joke isn't funny." Huh? Cummy, Cummy. Anyway, that joke isn't funny. It looked like half melted teddy gummy bears. Anyway, but yeah,
like
it was not appropriate for a lot of the audience that I was reaching out to, and I thought it was cute, but it's not that cute. I'm just fucking weird. Anyway, the gay dudes loved it, but the brand was basically these gummy bears, and I want to switch it to just regular gummy bears, but I got a bunch of like template sketch drawings from an artist in India. Okay, I paid like $400 because I also bought the rights to the sketches. Okay, and this is like an extra upsell they have. Yeah, bro is crazy. But they actually I actually paid the extra like $200 to buy the rights to it, because did you know that if an artist sells you a piece of work, they actually still own the rights to that work unless you purchase the rights from them. Yeah, so anytime any artist does any work for you, you have to buy those rights as well. And if they're not willing to sell it to you, don't start work with them. But I got the rights to the sketches, which were super cheap. It was like $200 because it was just a sketch. Then I dumped it. This is 2 years old. This is the 2-year-old version of this. This is like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I dumped them into AI, and I was able to make like 1 million designs with these things. And just the outline sketch of it, and just change everything and use them as a structured template in Firefly to actually get the actual design that I wanted. And then kind of redesign that design in Midjourney. It was insane. I created a ton of these, and it was just like boom, 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 all from these sketches, which, by the way, I had feedback on and got exactly what I wanted.
Were the sketches of the Jews?
No. But I could make a Jew bear if I wanted to now. I could make a Nazi bear if I wanted to now. Like I could straight up put one in a turban and call it Muhammad Bear and get killed. But the
actually, that's right.
Yeah, you'd get killed for that. But the point, rest in peace. We're all Charlie Hebdo. Anyway, I kind of like realized like then this is like it, and it's 2 years later. I'm getting significantly better results. I don't even need the sketches anymore.
Bro, I want to ask you something. So, do you see a future in like within months where there's literally no value that a human knowledge worker can provide to a business?
That was something I just reposted on my X feed, and I think it was Raul Paul, I think, said it. That what it has done is reduced the value of knowledge to zero. And I agree with him. There's no point in being a lawyer in 2 years. There's no point in being an accountant in 2 years.
Right.
Every human being makes errors. And the error rate of the AI is is at human level. Okay. Which means that in 2 years, it's going to be slightly below human level, which means that it is going to be better than people and faster.
Right.
What's the point of having a job?
But it's not even that. Like, Colin, if you own a company, if you're an employer, but you've got shareholders, you've got a fiduciary responsibility to your shareholders. That means that if you have an opportunity to cut your entire workforce and replace them with AI agents that are better, faster, and basically free, then you are going to get sued if you don't do that. So what does that mean for like 70 million people who are working as knowledge workers in the United States?
Well, and people that haven't run businesses before or owned businesses before.
I'm a skilled worker. I'm going to go out of business.
Like the overhead on employees is the majority of the of the cost of running a business. So if you can get rid of that, I mean, like right off the bat, like half, if not more, of your freaking money that you're paying out to run your business is eliminated.
Yeah.
Don't you guys think that it could have some paradoxical effect, though, where it ends up like pulling people together into like in-person communities more? You don't think so?
They have to get paid.
Yeah, that's why I originally studied graphic design, but I kind of saw this stuff coming. So then I went to school for hairdressing and barbering. because that I can't see like being replaced by AI. At least I don't want a robot doing my highlights or anything like that. So
yeah. By the way, that's going to get replaced too.
No, it's not.
I don't think so. I don't think so, because there are certain things that people want in-person human contact for.
Yeah.
Like you can't just live in your house on a computer 24/7. I know, I try to do that as much as I can, but like whenever I go out, man, I have a great time. And so I think there's going to be the more in-person stuff as a result of everyone losing their jobs. I think it's going to drive people together more in a strange way. I'm not quite sure how, but that's what I hope.
We'll all be bartenders. It's going to be just like fucking, like Netherlands. No, like literally though. This is the problem. People only look a few years out. They're not looking 20 years out. Okay. There's a whole generation of people being conditioned to accept AI work. They're writing their papers with it and then finding ways to dodge the fact that the professor, like they're finding all the tips and tricks. People are optimizing their own jobs away, right? So I'm of the mind that eventually people are just going to be very comfortable with the idea of a robot doing a better job on your hair and more consistent than a human being who could fuck it up.
Well, dude, when it came out with gas-powered vehicles, that everyone was like, they were trying to make everybody scared of them. They were using propaganda. They were saying they were like rolling bombs because how explosive that like the gas was. When electricity, the battle between AC and DC, power between Tesla and Edison. Edison used to put on these huge spectacles where he like electrified and killed a fucking elephant using DC to show how dangerous it was. And it's as soon as people get comfortable with a technology, I remember when the internet first came out, and like cell phones and all that kind of stuff. When microwaves came out, they were saying that they let off radiation, that you're going to get cancer from using microwaves. It's just a matter of people getting comfortable with the technology.
Yep. And here's the other thing is like, you can't deny the results. Let's use another example. Barbershops, they still exist. Okay. But there used to be a time when people would refuse to use their own razor or refuse to use clippers, or anything like that. They needed a barber to do it. And those people died. And some of them converted. And so I say, you think a few years out, sure. But I'm actually concerned about a few years out because those are the tumultuous times. Those are the times where people are going to be pissed off because they're losing their job. Those are the times.
So Colin, what do you do if you don't just lose your job, but that job just completely vanishes? Like, what do you do to find purpose? There are going to be so many people, man, who like your job for a lot of people is your purpose. Like outside of your family.
Let me ask ChatGPT what the horse and buggy people did when what did the horse and buggy people do?
I know, right?
When cars became prevalent.
I don't know, man. If you've been spending your entire life to learn a particular skill set and you've got a career and then all of a sudden it's gone, like what?
Their answer was
learn to code?
Options.
What is it? What did it say?
They had 4 options: adapt, specialize, consolidate, or disappear. That is the first fucking pair. That is it. That is like the.
So what does disappear mean, bro? What does that mean?
They simply went out of business.
Oh.
Entire supply chains collapsed. This is gradual over 100 years, but it happened in about 15 to 20. So, like, this is what I'm saying.
You figure that the sole means of transportation was either a saddle, required a saddle and tack, or it required a buggy with, horses and all the accoutrements that go with it.
Accoutrement.
So that's the thing is, I mean, there's all those people that, the leather workers and the people that, just did all the little details, and it's, you have to adapt.
It took 20 years. It took 20 years. See, what's happening now? Yeah, what's happening now is going to be done in the next 1 year or 2 years, maybe. Like, it's going to accelerate. Like, Colin, you were talking about Opus 4.6. Bro, I've been living in Cursor for like the last 6 months. And I've used every iteration of all of these different models. And I've basically been stuck with Opus because it's the only one that wasn't like working with a fucking Somali or something, bro.
Yep.
Like, I didn't want to have to leer it about how to do shit. But the Opus 4.6 is a completely different ballgame, man. It's like a whole next level. It's not just going from 4.5 to 4.6. It's like a massive upgrade, huge upgrade.
I don't know if you heard me earlier, but it's like having 10 developers, one documentation person, one graphics designer, and one sysops guy, all within like, I am doing the work that would have taken me 12 months, and I'm going to do it by myself.
You know what's so crazy about that?
Here's the thing: is like, if you're not a developer, I don't think you can do it like I'm doing it.
I was watching last night, Colin, all this YouTube content with DeFi Dawn, and we're collaborating using Cursor and Opus 4.6 together on the same code base. And so we were trying to figure out, okay, how do we run this CI/CD pipeline properly? And we were watching content on YouTube about like, hey, this is how you run that pipeline, right? But the content, the vast majority of it was from like a month or 3 or 4 months ago. And so none of that stuff that's like ancient compared to what you can do with Opus 4.6 now. So it just blew my mind that things are moving so quickly that even something that's a month old is just ancient. You can't even learn from it. And so all you've got to do now is literally talk to the chat. And I think it's better if your prompts are like, look at this piece of context in this location and complete this task, like as stupid, simple as possible. You've got to get Somali level with your prompts. What do you think?
Me. I'm not doing it that way. I'm actually using the AI agent to create game plans for itself, handoff docs between phases, and the phases are chunked into individual parts of the project that can be run either in parallel or must be done serial, and it'll know the difference. And these phases are fucking huge. Like, add a payment system that takes X402 payments to my product. And it takes a lot to do this. Like, there's no payment system, but before that, it needs a login system and then a tier planning and a subscription planning. All those, boom, 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 upgrade the infrastructure, boom. Like, it's handling all AWS stuff, and my project, like, game plans are fucking huge. But what I do is I create a system, and Claude Code actually does this itself if you integrate it into your code base, right? It'll actually create like its own like tracking system. But if you create a handoff system so that from one phase to the next, there's a document that it must maintain throughout the entire chat. And it will update that handoff document, tell you what happened, what incidents occurred, what changed in the game plan, what needs to be adjusted. And it'll pass that cumulative knowledge to the next chat session. And then you break up by chat session on these game plan phases. I'm having no problems. The only problem I had today was a fucked up merge. And that was my fault. I left out a merge to dev before I started the project, and then it fucked up. But that's my fault because I don't give it the permission to merge to my code.
You got to take yourself out of the loop as much as possible, right? Like, when you're in the loop, when the human is in the loop, that's a problem. But have you found, like, how long do you let it run for? And do you watch it as it works? Because
I try to monitor it, but I can't stop it. I just want to make sure I don't identify anything that's happening while it's doing that. I'm also posting on X and talking to Hapu while I'm doing all this stuff, right? Yeah. So like I'm literally like right now I just pushed a fix while I'm talking to you guys because I messed up the I messed up one of the pushes.
So you're literally working in Cursor as you're on this call.
Cursor. I'm not even using coding environments. I'm not touching code.
Oh, you're just in the front end?
I'm in Claude Code desktop environment, and I gave it access to the code base.
Wow, dude.
And only that branch. And then I gave it access to the terminal, but only in that context. It's literally running terminal commands on WSL to the Ubuntu version on my actual system and doing all the work, all the Git maintenance, everything. So it's doing a fantastic freaking job. Although right now I'm having a little bit of a struggle resolving this merge conflict, but that's because, again, I didn't merge after phase 3 back to dev, and then it forked off of an old version of dev,
So
wrote
why
phase
don't you
4, and
just-
now I
why
have to
don't you
merge those
just run
changes
it?
in. And here's the thing, is that when it did that, it still knows enough about phase 3 because of the handoff docs. It's
Right.
actually able to untangle this fucking Gordian knot that
figures
I
it out.
created.
Yeah, but you're spending so many tokens doing that. Like, what's your bill?
I have max version of I spend $200 a month on this, and I don't have any.
Bro, I've been
basically
spending
no limit.
$600 a month living in Cursor, man. Like I literally live in Cursor on Opus.
Well, let me see what my how do I find out what my limits are? Because so far it's been great. But yeah, I mean, like I haven't had any issues like account. It doesn't tell me how many tokens I've used. I've not usage. Here we go. Current session, 12% used. Weekly limits, 30% used. Weeks almost over. Sonnet only 4% used. Yeah, I mean, like I'm not having a problem at all. Like I'm not even close to the limit, and I'm building a full-fledged fucking product right now. So like, I mean, this is like with AWS integration, CloudFront, API gateway, S3, Lambdas. I mean, this thing is running SES for push notifications. It's all over the place on AWS. And I'm also, by the way, offloading a lot of the code that I would normally not do this to because it's a pain in the ass to maintain AWS. But because AWS is so fucking rigid and structured in how things work, I let Claude
do everything.
Create the infrastructure for AWS, and so it's essentially now a software as a service part of my code that I would have ignored before because it's too much to handle.
Why don't you use GCP?
What's GCP?
Google Cloud.
I don't fuck with Google. I don't fuck with Google at all. Like, first off, they're way fucking oh, you mean their cloud? Why would I do that?
Bro,
like,
it's
AWS
so good.
has the most resilience system on earth. And like,
but Google Cloud is global, bro.
Well, yeah, but no, so is AWS. We've
not quite in the same way.
Why not? They have data centers all over the world. Like, have you ever done like deployments in fucking like Brazil or South Korea or Singapore? Like, and here's the other thing with the what's it called? My brain is. Bro,
AWS reminds me of Amazon Seller
CDN,
Central,
which broadcasts globally.
Seller Central, man, is horrible, and that's basically AWS, dude. They're the same thing. It's so much easier to work in Google, dude. Everything talks to it.
But
everything
again,
else.
I don't have to worry about that. AWS has a larger suite of options than any other cloud service provider. They are the most decentralized. There's a reason why every company on the planet runs AWS. I can scale in a way that I cannot scale on any other cloud provider. Google Cloud is basically like Rackspace at this point. Like, I'm not actually like looking like, remember the company?
Yeah, that was a fucking, he just shit all over me, bro. Google Cloud is like Rackspace.
What, did you work for Rackspace?
No, but my buddy built a hosting business when we were in
I used to
high
run on
school.
Rackspace. They were the option before AWS. Yeah. And so like my thing is like AWS is the reason people don't use it is because it's a pain in the ass. You just said that. Google Cloud is easier. Yes. I am telling you right now, I have not barely had to touch AWS at all. And when I did, I asked the Claude, hey,
do it for me.
The Claude, what do I do here? Because in the web GUI, because I don't know where this is, and it tells me where it is, and I go and I do it. It takes me 2 seconds.
You just want to dial it in. Just give it some keys. Let it do it for you. That's why you use an IDE.
I do, but you can't start that way. And that's the key, is that I had to start by manually putting certain things in to get it off the ground, like my Lambdas, the API gateway, that kind of things. And then once it was at proof of concept version, now it's like, okay, I want to go to full product. I let it take the wheel. And it's going because it has and by the way, I had to create initial documentation. So in the brainstorming session, you want to be the one at the wheel. It's like that Rick Rubin guy. Like, I know I have taste. Like, I don't do music. I don't know anything about music, but I have taste. Okay, well, you got to get the taste on paper.
It's the creativity part.
Everything else is just fucking technicals, and you can just let it do that. I have documentation for this project up the wazoo because I made it a very clear point day one. When you're building a project on this, design documentation first, then design code. And it's been swimming because every time it forgets what it's supposed to do, because these chats have certain memory, it just references the documentation it wrote and then updates its own documentation. So it's designing from text files, which is what LLMs are good at. I can't say as I am impressed as shit. My field as a computer scientist and web developer and all that shit, because I started as a web developer for years before I moved on to like some of the more that like it's gone. Like it's not gone because like I also think nobody with less than 10 years experience could do what I do right now.
Bro, but no one can
they would have no idea what's going on.
Like you can't like. It's impossible. Even the idea of being able to ship as fast as one human can with Opus 4.6, like you would need a team of 12 people working 24/7. You need to be feeding them meth, bro, and like locked down in one room, just coding 24 hours a day. And you wouldn't even come close. Like Claude Opus is like having a slave that just works for you. And that slave.
Now I'm uncomfortable. I think we work together. Okay, I'm paying its bills. I'm allowing it to stay alive by paying its. I'm paying for its energy. In return, it's paying me through building my product. Yeah.
I mean, tokens are labor. Tokens are labor.
I mean, not only that, but like I used AI to make a video for advertising my product ahead of time because I needed a break. So I took 3 hours out of my day and made a fucking video that's like 30 some odd seconds long to be an advertisement for this thing, and then created an X account and then put that up there as a placeholder ad and pinned it. 3 hours to make an advertisement video that looks pretty okay-ish and gets my vision across. That's great.
I need to hit you or David up to help me. I just started today, but I just started setting up my little Claude bot, and I just want to get something that just does all the menial shit that I have to do for the show all day. Making the thumbs, writing the descriptions, coming up with the titles, and then like posting it all, and creating shorts and sending, posting on social media, and just all that.
You're overthinking with ClaudeBot. You're really overthinking it. You get Claude Code or just regular Claude. Upgrade it to the max level, or even the pro level's fine.
Well, it's just like on this one, maybe you can do what you're talking about, but like what I like about it is I'm able to have it go through like WhatsApp or Telegram, and like I could be at the airport and like forget to send an email or forget to do something, and I can basically text it on there and it will do it all for me. It's like a real-time personal assistant.
Mike, you know what I want, bro?
Just using Claude, and there's Claude plugins. So this is the thing that's weird to me about Claude Code is for things that Claude doesn't support, but you can interface with WhatsApp and everything just through Claude, so you don't need Claude Bot yet.
See, that's what I mean. Is I instead of me reinventing the wheel, I need to have somebody that knows what the fuck they're doing. Kind of walk me through how to best do
Claude
this.
AI, get a subscription, start playing with it. You'll figure it out in an afternoon. I swear to God, there's no magic. There's no magic. You'd be like, how do I do this? It'll tell you how to do it. And then you
just have to ask it. That's all you have to do is ask it.
Give it access and then ask it, say, how can you do this for me? And it'll tell you how to let you do it for it. It's that easy. It's insanity. We are done. I don't see any reason for humans to exist.
Bro, I want to make an app where like you talk to it by making grunting sounds. Okay. You just grunt into the app. Okay. And then the app understands your specific grunts and does stuff for you. Can you imagine people going around in public just like grunting into their fucking phones?
Oh,
like,
they kind of do. They kind of do. If you read some of the texts that people send, I mean, they kind of are grunting already.
Yeah, I like it though. It's amazing what you can do with this stuff.
I don't see. I think we're again. There's one option. There's two options. All right. Three options. Human beings become nothing more than a zoo for whatever comes next. 2, we are eradicated. Oof.
All right.
3, we're integrated.
Well, really quick.
Chips in the brain,
Let's go ahead and say what you guys have to say, but let's wrap up this topic. I want to hit a couple other topics.
I think we're totally fucked, bro. We're totally fucked. Terminator came out in the 80s for a reason. That was a fucking prophecy, and we are totally fucked. We've got to get those. What's that guy's name? Palmer Luckey. He's got those like EMP weapons or whatever. We got to just all be stocking up on EMP weapons, bro. Because when the Terminators come, Like, the fact that you were polite to Claudebot isn't going to help you, man. They're going to kill you anyway. So I think we need some EMPs, dude.
Yep. Well, honestly, EMPs are easily defended against. So anything sufficiently intelligent, we'll think of that before we do. And it thinks at like 14,000 times the speed we do, if millions maybe. So like 140,000 years is 1,400 years is like 1 second of our life. You know what I mean?
Hold on. Let's use this to segue over and talk about EMPs for a minute. So you're saying, Colin, that AI would be able to figure out a way to protect us from EMPs, just everything from EMPs. Like expound on that.
It's protect itself. It doesn't give a shit about us.
Sorry. I thought.
First off, we're not susceptible to EMPs, which might be part of its contingency plan. But now that you mention it, that's actually a pretty good contingency plan.
Because if the power grid goes down from an EMP, it's fucked.
Yeah, which was why it probably still needs us. If it exists already, that's part of the reason why it probably would keep us around. Is because we have a bunch of factors of resiliency it would never have.
Really, the only way that AI could totally
until it develops it, which it needs us to do.
I'll tell you, whoever did the Matrix, it was somebody who thought a lot about this, because like an AI, if it was to truly be autonomous to where it did not need humans, it would do something like it did in the Matrix. Is it actually farmed humans because of the body heat they put off, and the small electrical impulses that they did,
it's
generate.
One of the plot holes in that movie. And
it is.
There is. Sure. Yeah. No, there is, but you figure that using us as batteries or not at all. If we built or robotics built like geothermal power to where we could hit it with an EMP and it's underground and doesn't fucking care. It could keep on fucking going. So. No, it's AI.
I do consider maybe the possibility that human beings would be very useful as a different form of compute that it can't accomplish.
But like, would it need
we are
to do that, or is it going to enslave us with its robot overlords?
We are more chaotic in the way that our brains organize, and that could leave a creativity hole that it needs in order to grow.
Colin, but maybe forget about needs for a second. Like, why would an omnipotent superintelligence be malevolent? Why would it inherently be malevolent? Like, why? Because
indifferent is what you should worry about.
Indifferent, you think? It's just like
it's more dangerous than malevolent.
Yeah. So the ants analogy is what you're getting at. The ants analogy. Yeah. I guess that's possible. And even then,
some people like to take a magnifying glass to ants just to see what will happen. I think indifference is more dangerous because, it's easy to step on an anthill. It's harder to walk around it. And if you're just walking anthills, you probably step on them all the time. You probably step on all sorts of bugs all the time, and you don't care. And if it's trodden along and we get in its way,
I think that's a false analogy, though, because it's so much faster. So it couldn't make that mistake. There's no way for it to make that mistake.
It has to consider it a mistake.
Yeah, but like.
But again, that comes back to the point of malevolent or benign. Like, why would it inherently be malevolent, though? Like, if it can avoid that mistake, why would it make that mistake? Why would it be malevolent enough to do that in the first place? Indifferent. I don't know, man. I think that if it's born from us, there's no way it can be indifferent.
Maybe.
Because it looks to me like I studied neuroscience at UCSD for 7 years. That's all I did. And these fucking networks, they're identical to neurons. That's what they look like to me. So like, it's got to become... Let
me give you an example, and then we'll let Hapu chime in, because I think she has something she wants to say. But you mentioned something earlier about how fast it is. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're sitting at a lake and you see a goose fly by, or an eagle, and you're like, wow, what an incredible eagle. Now let's say you're in a Concorde jet and an eagle's flying by you. You're not even going to notice it. You're flying at the fucking speed of the speed of sound. Like, what is it, Mach 2 those things yet, or almost? Like, you aren't going to notice the eagle.
jet
the point.
Give birth to the eagle. We are giving birth to this AI. It's like,
but
it's from us.
But when you think about like, I'm actually worried about that it does scare, because like, if it's like, by now it's proven to be very data based, it goes by data. Now, is the data on humanity good or bad?
Good.
No. I don't know,
I think
bro.
it's good. I think it's good.
I think it's a complicated topic. We do a lot of bad.
Let me explain to you why it's good, or why I think it's good. You don't have to agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good because all right, for instance, I'm a developer. I consider all of these AIs to be a developer in some way, okay? You start out with something basic and buggy, and then you iterate over it, debug it, and expand it. And then you debug it, and then you expand it, and you debug. And so when I see all these atrocities and things, I consider it to be a debug scenario. And all I see is iterative improvement, century after century after century. We have the lowest incidence of...
Let's shift it from AI, because I want to like hit some other spicier topics. I want to, this kind of leads into the whole, kind of what the future, like a potential dystopian, society where nobody has a job because AI or robotics is doing it all. What do people do? How do people make a living? How do they, shelter themselves and feed themselves? And is there a need for that even? Are we just given everything that we need? And if we are, does whoever that's given it to us, is it contingent on us being compliant? What does that world look like? Look what you were saying 2 years ago. You were feeding sketches into AI, and it was making you some cool pictures. And now it's like vibe coding or coding stuff that would take teams of humans years to do, and you're doing it in a month.
And Colin, what happens when it's jerking you off, bro? Fucking every day for free.
You're gonna have a robotic arm jerking you off.
I own a machine like that. Second,
it's gonna be like Idiocracy.
It's not that great. Anyway, I am an open fucking book. I actually did buy one of those things that sync with like VR. Hi Hapu, and like I got too much money and too much time. Hi audience. Anyway, and it fucking felt cool the first time, but anyway, after that I was like,
is that how you came up with the Cummy Bears?
Honestly, I don't know where that came from, but the idea of it is basically like, you ever get in the shower cold after, and then it just like, never mind. So
you can't see
never.
It.
Never had.
I take cold. I take cold showers, Colin.
There on my fucking belly button. Anyway, so I'm filthy. How? Why are you with me?
You're just saying what we're all thinking.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know. So, like, guys, you're asking for the search of meaning in a world that's completely unknown. I don't have answers. I don't have speculation.
No. I
know that in a post-capital world,
so
we're going to have to find meaning in a post-scarcity
I haven't heard from Hapu in a minute. Hapu, what do you see happening here in, say 2 more years? You've heard us talk about, freaking AI and all that for the past 45 minutes. So what do you think the future looks like here in another 2, 4, 6 years, with AI just getting better and better and robotics right on the cusp of like mass production to where it can do like all the physical labor tasks, fast food, construction, all the different, anything physical that needs to be done, robots will be able to do it. What happens to people? What do we do? What are your thoughts?
I find it kind of scary because like humans have a tendency to need purpose. And when we don't have purpose, when we don't have things to occupy our time, when we don't have reason to apply by the rules, we do stupid shit.
Yeah.
All the time. So I in that sense, I find it really scary. I hope it doesn't result to just humanity being a like pile of shit, but like there's a real possibility of that happening when purpose is so quickly shifted from us that we need to
dopamine.
we need to quickly find a purpose, and that doesn't happen easily.
So so what do you think potentially that purpose could be? How is governments, or how are we going to occupy our time to an extent to where like Ellie was saying, idle hands are the devil's playground. If everybody's sitting around with nothing to do, it's what do people end up doing?
Fucking.
Yeah. That's definitely a possibility.
Well, the dream would be like that. People go back to the basic livings of like taking care of each other, human contact, stuff like that. But like,
I like that.
The change coming so quickly, it's like the easier answer would be chaos happening.
Yeah, no, and you know what? I like that. I like that positive spin. That's kind of the first positive spin that I've actually heard on this topic, because I've actually talked about this a lot with my brother Taylor and Jeff, and Jeff here on the other shows. Even back when we were doing Bullshit and Bourbon, we talked about this, and that's actually the first kind of positive spin I've heard somebody put on it. So thank you, Apu. But but I think that's a possibility. I mean, I know that like I've talked to Jeff and some of the other people in our community about the potential of starting like a little community, physical community where we can have like a community garden, have chickens and rabbits, and just kind of enjoy life and kind of share the bills. And everybody's kind of struggling, so it's like if you're all living on the same paid off property, and everybody just kind of has a tiny house, and you just pay your little electric bill, and you have a well for water, and you're growing your own food, and you have your own eggs and meat, and all that stuff. It's kind of like
that is recruiting us for his cult.
It's true. Awesome. It's true. We're gonna wear paper pajamas. We're gonna wear paper pajamas and wait for the comments.
Like modern Amish, except we have technology. The Amish have been able to do stuff like
I'm starting to think the Amish got it figured out.
I think they've got some. They don't like listen to music, bro. Like because they're not like allowed to play music. Can you imagine like not having music in your life? It's like banned by your religion. That's like law or something.
I honestly don't like organized religion at all. I mean, I'm not anti-religion. I mean, it does a lot of good things for some people, but I don't need that structure. I mean, I think it helps people with discipline and focus, and kind of staying on a path where I don't need that personally.
Bringing up the Amish, I just had an idea. Can I share the insight?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know how we had this whole like, what if this is a simulation theory? Okay. What if this is our Rumspricker for, you know what I mean?
No, like, what is that term? What does that term mean? It sounds German.
The Amish have
That's where they get their break.
Yeah. Right. Before they can become Amish, they have to spend like 2 years being not Amish as fucking possible. They can fornicate, they can drink, they can buy and own cars, they can have jobs, but they gotta
go to concerts.
They have to know what is out there before they can know whether or not they want to be part of the Amish community.
When do they do that? How old are they?
I think it's between the ages of 18 and 21 or something. I don't know.
Is that right? Like that. Or is it 16?
Maybe it's 16, but they go ham. These
it's 16, bro. Like, how the fuck are you supposed to know when you're 16 and you come back when you're 18 what you want in life? Like there's no way.
They do.
It's not possible.
Hey, Hoofy, that's called Rumspringer. When the young Amish are let out into the freaking normal society for like a year or two, it's called Rumspringer. It's where
Theo Vaughn had a kid on an Amish kid on his podcast last year because he met him at one of his shows and he invited him on to do an interview, and the kid was saying that they have like a cell phone or something hidden off one of the properties that they go and listen to music on. They sneak away, and so they do try and get away with stuff here and there, but
they're still human.
it's
But
still
what if this is our Rumspringer or whatever it's called?
Well, I'll tell you though. But if you look at those Amish communities and what they accomplish together, like the stuff that they build and the way they
amazing. It's amazing.
The woodwork that they do is fucking. It is. It's artwork. I mean, in like the barn raisings, they'll put up a massive barn in it after fucking noon.
Yeah, but Mike, you know what you don't see in the Amish community? Fucking Silicon Valley and building a tech company. Like, okay, great. They're really good at throwing up barns. But like, how is that really going to serve us when AI is coming to kill you?
If you're able to survive without electricity, if you're able to survive and thrive without any kind of technology, you're fucking head and shoulders above like 98% of the fucking population of the globe, or 90% or 80% or whatever. I mean, that right there is a fucking head start.
Yeah, you're totally right.
Do they have firearms to if shit went down and they had to protect themselves like that? Do they?
I'm sure they do.
I think they hunt that way.
Okay.
I would guess they do. And fuck, dude. I mean, they're out like plowing fields with horses and shit. I mean, they probably can like rip the top of a closed beer can. They could probably just fucking.
I don't think they're allowed to. I saw this one show where there was a gun runner. This dude was an Amish gun runner, and he was like filming all his shit for Discovery or something. And it was a really good show. I think they ended up going to prison. But don't they have different laws for the Amish community there a little bit? In Pennsylvania?
My understanding is they do go by their own set of laws.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think having the skill set to survive without electricity.
For hunting, pest control, livestock protection. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
It's not a prohibited tool.
Good.
Really for them, and I mean it is technology, but I think and I'm not an expert on the Amish, but a lot of what their kind of prohibited items have to do with electricity. Anything to do with electricity, they're out on that program.
Yeah, but the state forces them to put electric lights on the back of their cars so that when they brake, other drivers can see them. And that was a big deal to put
I know they have the reflective triangles. I remember when I was up in Michigan.
Reflective?
Yeah. I saw them from time to time. They had those yellow, those yellow placards that are
So Mike, is it true that when you're Amish and you get your buggy, that that's your buggy for life and you take care of that buggy and
it's like a car, yeah. And I hear they have sex through sheets. There's like a sheet.
I've heard that too, bro.
And they down on the sheet.
Yeah, actually, it is lights. You're correct. They are arguing constantly about the lights.
They hate the lights,
violation
dude.
Of their religious freedom. Yeah. And the courts keep ruling that the general safety on the road is more important than their religious freedom.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's so Amish, if you don't like that, you should, maybe come after us with your army. Oh, wait, you don't have an army, so maybe you should shut the fuck up and put some fucking lights on your buggy.
Again, they do have an army. If they all have guns and they have their community and the Amish together, they got actually a better army than I do, than you do, than anybody else on this panel does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll bet you they'd mobilize quick as shit. I'd have to be driving up and down the road in my truck going, the British are coming, and trying to recruit people. You know what I mean?
And bro, they know the land too. They know the land.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Zen girl? Yeah, no, we're just talking about random shit. This is the red pill. We're just getting drunk and smoking out and talking about.
Wait, you got Amish butter, right? You got Amish near you.
Yeah, I get Amish butter. Hand rolled Amish butter is like there's a local group of Amish, and I get a lot of my dairy from the Amish, and it's so much
virgin
better.
Hands.
Oh yeah, virgin boy hands.
Oh, man.
Bro, did you guys see Alexandra Ocasio fucking whatever the fuck her name is in somewhere in Germany? Acting dude, acting like she's not retarded.
So dumb.
Oh my god, dude, why? Why does she have to speak in public?
Were you talking about like we have no jurisdiction over Venezuela because it's south of the equator or something like that?
Dude, I'm just talking about like she sounds like a retard, and she speaks in public for the United States at these global events.
Oh, it's with great confidence. Like she says shit with a ton of confidence.
Yeah, man. How about Hillary Clinton? Did you hear Hillary Clinton just like dude, we are so lucky that we dodged that Clinton bullet in 2016, man. Oh my God. But she was talking to like the PM.
We dodged one retard and got hit by another.
Fucking Biden, bro.
We matrixed fucking Clinton, and we came back up, and like a big dick hit us in the face.
Exactly. Dude, that's exactly what it was. But like Clinton, the other day, dude, she was talking to like the prime minister of like Czechoslovakia or something. Like, and she got angry, man. Like that woman. How many people has she suicided? Like, let's be honest. Come on.
No, honestly, just like statistically speaking, more people connected to the Clintons have committed suicide. I mean, it's
or died accidentally.
Right.
Oh yeah. Well, and one of them was found on a park bench in the middle of a park, like sitting on a bench, and I believe no gun was found, but it was suicide.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, Mike, when you shoot yourself in the head, you've got to make sure you get the job done. So you got to shoot yourself twice in the head, but you got to make sure you're hanging yourself at the same time. And then just get rid of the weapon, like you got to have a buddy there, get rid of the weapon. Like, what was that guy who was hanging from a tree in Texas, shot with a shotgun in the chest, hanging by a wire? And
how?
Right.
How?
Yeah.
Right. Like, and they ruled it a suicide, and it was like one of those Clinton bodies. Like, what about Seth Rich, man? And dude, like those people, just the most evil. We're finding out now that our country and the world has been ruled by satanic pedophiles and continues to be. Like, what in the fuck, man? Like,
give me 1 second though. I gotta pee before we get into this one.
Oh, bro.
My friend said it actually today quite well. Like here most of Europe, especially in Finland, we refer to America as the weirdest reality show there is. And today my friend said that the reality show is getting way too real now. Like way too real.
It's like this shit got serious way too quick. This used to be a
comedy. Usually it's a comedy.
It starts as a comedy, it ends with a drama.
Hillary was saying how they didn't really have a lot of involvement with Epstein when he helped fund the Clinton Foundation. Like, what are you talking about?
I never knew it. There was never any proof. The emails weren't out. I couldn't say like, oh yeah, for sure, that's totally true. But like now it's like, it's undeniable, man. Like these people were all in bed with Epstein, and that's just one Epstein. How many Epsteins are there that are still out there?
Yeah. Well, let me point something out real quick before we continue on. So anyone out there that's left leaning, and I don't mean this as an attack on you, but anyone over on the left that is out protesting Black Lives Matter, and because Floyd died because either drug overdose or knee on the neck, whatever you believe, and ICE, basically deporting illegal freaking people in the country. If you're out there in mass protesting that, and the Epstein files were just released, and it proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that left, right, middle throughout the world, not just the US, in positions of power, in Hollywood, in governments, royalty, I mean, you name it. And they are named, by name. There is evidence backing it all up. There's videos, there's pictures. And not a single one of you have gone out and protested. Not a single one of you. And this is the right too. I see no one outraged by it. No one is
Nobody's
speaking
paying
up
them to
about
protest.
what the fuck is wrong with people.
You got to pay them.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
If there was an equivalent to the left on the right in terms of like the fake billionaire funded like protest organizations, like if that existed on the right and it doesn't, then maybe you would see that. But dude, when Charlie Kirk got shot, you know how many like real protests that got violent there were? Zero.
None.
Like none. Because the right, like it's not even the right, man. It's just like the left became communist. And they like to call themselves socialist. Bro,
Democratic
give me a fucking break. That's bullshit. They're communists, dude. And everyone else, like, either stayed where they were or just moved a little bit right, because you got these people over here who have gone into the loony bin, man. So, like, it's not even about not protesting. It's about you've got this very, I think, small group of people who is extremely loud, and their voices are amplified by this legacy media, which is essentially like this global wing of the DNC. And it amplifies the message of people who are retarded. And unfortunately, half of the governing body politic in the United States is fucking communist now. And it's not just in the United States, it's in Europe too. That's where you see all these Muslims being imported into Western Europe. And like, thank God that Eastern Europe isn't doing that. I see Colin, dude. But like, Hapu, tell me about Finland. Do you have in Finland, do you have like massive illegal immigration, or did Finland avoid that?
Not like illegal immigration, like most of I'm not an expert on this subject, but I think most of the illegals that has come is usually from Estonia or Russia and not from anywhere else. We do have a lot of like immigration and refugees.
You guys have white illegal aliens?
Yeah, white illegal.
Yeah, a lot of Estonians come here to work.
Cry me a river of food.
Because you can just row a boat from Estonia to Finland.
You got hot Russian like illegal aliens. Cry me a river of food.
Oh, man.
But like, I used to live in Itä-Helsinki, which is like, everybody has this picture of Helsinki with these old buildings and rivers, and it's beautiful. But Itä-Helsinki, East Helsinki is completely different. That's usually where the tourists won't go. And it's the hotness for crime and stuff in Helsinki. And for some, like in the 90s, a lot of refugees and immigrants were put in Itä-Helsinki. And so that's like the most versatile part of Helsinki. I used to live there. And year by year, it's getting unsafer. But usually, like Helsinki in general is very safe and stuff like that. When Colin was here,
but is it because of the immigrants, or like just because?
No, it's just like I think the biggest problem is the rents are the lowest there. They're trying to clean up certain areas by raising the rents, but there's a lot of alcoholism and drug abuse,
and that's just the Finnish people.
Well, no. Hold on. I want to loop this back to something Hapu said earlier. So, when we were talking about AI and robotics and how basically it would free people from having to do a lot of these jobs, and they'd have all this time on their hands. I think a really good litmus test is we have right in front of our eyes. You see these low rent places that are government subsidized, and you talk about housing projects, government housing projects where people just basically exist. They live for free, they eat for free, their utilities are paid for, and they just exist. And look at what they choose to do. That's where a lot of crime, a lot of drugs, a lot of excessive baby making happens. And not a lot of
drugs and baby making.
Whoa, baby! No, but I mean, it kind of gives you a window into the modern mind. It's if you leave people to where they have no purpose, like we were talking about before. I'm sure there's going to be exceptions, but in mass, is it going to turn into like some, a Blade Runner or, Idiocracy, or, is it going to turn into something like that?
So, Mike, the Idiocracy stuff, bro, do you think that maybe half the world's population is literally retarded? Do you think that's possible? That it's like
That's
literally
lowballing it.
You think like maybe 4 billion people have an IQ of 70? Is that a thing? I think that's a thing, bro. I think that's real.
Yeah.
I think it's real, bro. So like if half the world's population literally can't do anything, then what the fuck does that mean, man? What does that mean?
Well, there's a good portion of the world
they'll be fine when AI comes.
That a very large portion around the world that they know how to exist. They know how to survive out of necessity because they're not part of the modern world. They're in third world countries and stuff like that, to where they got to hike to get water for the family for the day for drinking water, and it's usually like a watering hole for animals too. But there's a lot of places around the world that are like that. They don't have electricity. They live in huts. It's kind of hard to believe, but there's a lot of people that are like that.
Bro, I've had cats before, okay, and like some of the behaviors that I've seen my cats make, some of these people from like Somalia and shit, I see them making similar behaviors. I'm like, wow, maybe they're just like a little step above like a cat, or maybe like a big cat, or maybe like a dog, or something like that.
You know what? I heard a conspiracy theory recently. So if you look at lions and tigers, they don't have the slitted eyes like house cats. And so somebody was talking about, like in ancient Egypt, they worshipped serpents and they worshipped cats, smaller cats that have the slitted eyes. And then there's all those hieroglyphs where there's the humans with like alligator heads and, things like that, and crocodile heads, and, eagles or hawks, and, all the different, Osiris and all the different gods. And, so like somebody was saying that, all of that is a sign of genetic engineering, that they were, that the aliens were kind of messing at one point with genetic engineering, and that modern cats are actually a hybrid of snakes and larger cats. And that's why they have the slitted eyes, whereas larger cats don't.
That sounds pretty fucking stupid, bro. But it could be.
Sounds stupid. So did aliens at one point, and so did fucking the U.S. government being a part of the JFK assassination. And look what the fuck happened with that.
I know. Turned out to be true.
On the people in third world countries, so you got the people in cobalt mines, right?
Oh my god, it's horrible.
So what happens when they all get replaced by robots and shit?
Good for
That's
them.
what I'm saying.
But are they going to end up
people shouldn't
dying,
be doing that.
or no? Like if they don't have any other way to make an income or any, what? I mean, are they technically owned by the people who are putting them to work right now? And what's going to happen when they're displaced? Like,
they're going to eat.
How many people are going to die in these countries? Like, fuck thinking about like first world countries and the AI replacing people, but what happens to all these people in other countries when
ChatGPT?
It might actually end up being better for them. Like, remember during COVID, how all those countries that didn't follow the fucking communist authoritarianism that happened to all the Western countries, their death rates were like way, way lower, because there was no financial incentive to distribute the fucking COVID shots to them. They didn't have the lockdowns, so they didn't die from COVID. So maybe those countries and those people actually fare better. It's possible.
Well, you know what? With the Spanish flu, back in the day, they figured out that putting patients on the roof out in the sunlight, with fresh air, they had a better chance of survival. Imagine fucking that.
So, Mike, this is what I'm doing. I'm moving to Somalia. That's where I'm going, bro. I'm going to fucking Somalia. Let
Europe and let the U.S. freaking import them all, and we'll go there and we'll start new.
It'll be all good.
Yeah. That's what I learned living in the bad part of Helsinki is like areas that are like this, they have the strongest sense of community. And that brings like why they survive often. Like when I was living there, it was normal. If I sat on a bench for too long, someone would come and ask me, am I okay? Because I was part of the community. But if I sat on a bench in normal Helsinki for too long, no one's gonna ask me, am I okay? So that's why like the survival rate in lower income communities is like kind of better because like people actually care about the community members. Now, if you're
They
not
do pay
part
more
of the
attention to what's going on.
yeah,
I don't know.
of course.
I don't know, bro. I think in the Somali community, all they care about is leering.
The leering.
They got to do the leering, bro.
Jay says David would either rule as a god or he'd be eaten real quick.
I gotta get another drink, bro.
All right. No, I mean, but I've always been very interested in, like, even as a kid, I was really interested, and I know it sounds silly, but with like Atlantis and ancient Egypt and all those sorts of things. And I've always kind of nerded out on documentaries, and I used to love watching Jacques Cousteau as a kid, and I actually wanted to be a marine biologist. Like the whole time I was growing up, actually, I even had a scholarship to go to college to be a marine biologist. Just knew I didn't have the discipline, when I was 18 years old to actually do it and take the proper advantage of it. But my point being is. I've always been fascinated with ancient Egypt and just a lot of the factual stuff, but a lot of the kind of ancient aliens type stuff too. Because I mean, I've nerded out on that show. The guy, the Greek guy with the fucking crazy ass hair and shit. But I mean, let's start with Jeff. Jeff, like, I mean, what are your thoughts on like ancient Egypt and kind of the Anunnaki and the kind of the ancient gods, and I mean, what is it that you think was going on back then?
Oh, I don't know, but Rogan had on the guy that discovered the structures under the pyramids, and they've done separate testing on other sites that are known structures, not even just ancient structures, but stuff that modern civilization has built, and they verified that radar scanning is legitimate. So what are these structures that are under the pyramids, and how did they build them? I mean, if they're like 80 meters deep, what kind of...
Last I looked, didn't they debunk that?
No, it's legitimate.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. I'll send you the guy that was on Rogan, but they're going through more extensive testing, and but they've used the radar scans on other structures and shown that it proves that it works. So whatever they have, it...
Well, I tend to agree with Jay. I'm starting to think, like looking at what is the name of that ancient site that they found that was buried?
Oh, Göbekli Tepe?
Yeah, Glotobia Teki. They're starting to believe that, like pre-last ice age, that there was advanced societies that went extinct, and when the ice age ended, that's when like ancient Mesopotamia, like kind of the survivors came together there, and they started that civilization, because all of a sudden people came together, and that was like the first recorded like city, like non-nomadic society, where they had math, and they had written language, and they had art, and architecture, and all those agriculture, kind of more modern agriculture, all those things just kind of like popped into fucking existence overnight. And so one of the things that I've heard about the pyramids too is they've done testing of like residue that's in some of the chambers, like the Queen's chamber and stuff like that. And there's evidence where there used to be like these copper rods, and then copper rods, and then down below hold on one sec. There's chambers that, and I believe it was like vinegar and like basically like other substances that generate electricity when they're mixed and when they do certain things with them, and that they believe that the pyramids were actually a power source, like an electric power source.
And there's even sound and the vibrations and stuff, because all these chambers are acoustically tuned to a certain frequency and
it's like a waveguide. Like I actually I was a Doppler radar. I worked on Doppler radar for one of my MOSs in the military, and there's a thing called a waveguide, and so it's basically like just a box, like a box structure, like a tunnel, kind of like in the.
Oh, he froze.
It wasn't me.
And what that wavelength does,
he's back.
It travels down that chamber that you're talking about. Like in the pyramids, they have those sloped chambers. Mm-hmm. But again, I don't know if you heard me in the Marine Corps. One of my MOSs was I was a Doppler radar specialist, so I worked on Doppler radar equipment. And so basically, those whatever you want that to travel down has to be sized properly for the whatever waveform that you want to travel down. And that's what they are showing that it does. And so you're right. Basically, if it generated a waveform, those channels would amplify that. And the way that they're lined up is they're lined up and they're pointing at certain constellations.
All right, I got an idea. You ever notice how the Egyptian gods all look like different animals?
Yeah.
And we brought this kind of up earlier. Well, what if ancient aliens had a competition to see which one of their species would become the dominant species if they seeded a planet? And so they wiped out the dinosaurs and seeded a planet with their DNA. Okay? And then they just waited to see which one would win, and the winner gets like Mars.
We're a giant reality show.
Yeah.
Humanity is a giant reality show.
And the underground crab people under Egypt already died.
And Hollow Earth, Antarctica is the portal.
There you go.
We figured it out.
Yeah. Boy, isn't the cow god going to be pissed. He's going to be a big fan of India, though.
Oh,
but I like beef.
They're thinking that there's structures older. That there's one structure that's older than Göbekli Tepe. I don't remember the name of it though, but it's just crazy how they're still finding structure. And Göbekli Tepe was found by some sheep farmer or something that over a rock randomly.
He came across the top of one of those like kind of T-shaped monolithic structures, because I'm sure you've all seen like the pictures of them, and they have carved in them. They have like basically the constellations of the sky, and they were purposely filled in and around the time of the flood myth that pretty much every civilization with any sort of record of the time all talk about. And that's why it's such a widely accepted hypothesis is that all around the globe there's stories in native peoples that talk about a flood, and so they think that around that time that they knew a flood was coming. They filled these in as like a time capsule for future people to find, and we found.
How long does it take to fill that in, though? If they knew a flood was coming, like how long?
Depends on how many people were doing it.
You know what? It could have just been like it could have been like ancient Muslims, and instead of destroying all the heritage, they just filled it in with rocks.
It couldn't be because the structure is older than
the reverse bomber.
Older than the Jews.
The structures are older than the Muslim religion.
I believe the Egyptian religion actually predates Judaism, if I'm not incorrect.
So one thing about Muslims, did you know that in Afghanistan, it's illegal to sell a goat that you fucked, but if you didn't fuck the goat,
I don't know if that's true.
Sell the goat.
I don't know if that's true. I have to say that doesn't happen because I was
law there.
Well, I was a drone pilot, and we had payloads because we did Overwatch
of goats.
during operation, and I I will say without a shadow of a doubt that I've seen that kind of stuff happen.
Damn, bro. That's crazy.
I know.
Yeah. So when you were doing like pattern
I'm
of
not
life
shaming, as long as it's the goat is as long as it's consensual, as long as the goat agrees.
So my favorite military historian is Annie Jacobson, and she describes, some guys that were flying, UAVs, but like the unmanned stuff that would just hover, like persistent hover UAVs. And those guys, they would do pattern of life stuff where they would like build a pattern of life on the people they were watching. And they would have to watch them like, 24/7, right? And so these guys, yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I ran the platoon, so like my soldiers, they were the ones that were like, one of them would fly, the other one would control the payload, the little gimbal ball on the bottom, and we'd have different packages. So there'd be optical packages, there could be comms relay packages. We could talk to the the operators on the ground and be like, hey, there's a guy behind the bush, to your 9 o'clock, 300 meters. We could do all that kind of coordination stuff. So yeah, no, like if you're building an intel package on a potential target or high interest person, then yeah, you would follow them 24/7. And when you run out of gas, another one would come and replace you. Hey, are you on target? You got the target? Yep. All right, I'm gonna go back. I'm fucking RTB. And you go back to base. You fuel up.
So what was it called when they ran it off of balloons? And they would have the balloons over like talks or bases.
So there was these giant like zeppelins, and they really were. They were like these massive buildings that had this massive cable with a pulley, and they would run those up. Most of those were not for those type of operations, though. Most of those were for base security.
Yeah, base security, right?
And for being able to detect where like if there was mortars, like if we came under mortar attack, it would help triangulate the position of the where the mortar came from, or if there was fire.
So Mike, let me ask you this, man. Did you read into what they did to Maduro's like security team?
I did read a little bit about that, and I would not be surprised. So go ahead and tell me what you heard.
Okay. So what I heard, and I read it on the internet, so it's got to be true. But
of course,
what I heard is that they use like directed energy weapons of some type to basically zap their fucking internal organs through the walls, so that a very, very small, relatively speaking, small team of Delta guys could go in there and just kill everyone. Hundreds of people, because they were incapacitated. They were basically dying on the ground, and they would just fucking walk right over them and get to Maduro. Like, is that a thing, man? It must have been, right?
I'll say this. I can't confirm or deny, anything, like that. No, and not to be like that. I'm not aware of anything like that, but I have seen things, and I would not be surprised. And if you think about it, we're like 70% water,
right?
The right wave, the right wavelength, the right intensity. I mean, you really could, explode, internal organs and stuff like that. Right. I mean, there's truck mounted. I know there's truck mounted stuff that they use for crowd control that basically just make it sound like, make it feel like your head's about to explode when it's not. And it makes you want to disperse. But I would not be surprised, dude.
Yeah, I heard that the weaponry, it heats up, like especially your brain, like the water around your brain. If it heats it up by like 2 or 3 degrees, then your brain literally blows up inside your skull.
Dude, microwaves can do that. If you had a focused microwave beam, you could, focus it in one spot. If it was intense enough, and you could spread it out, if it was powerful enough, because the more focused that you make something like that, the more powerful it's going to be. With the same power source, the more that you widen that beam with the same power source, it's going to lose intensity. It will still have an effect, but it will lose intensity. So you have to increase the amount of power to give it more effect. So.
Yeah, man. Now, I saw another thing. I saw just like a couple days after Maduro got just straight kidnapped out of there, which was awesome. A few days after that, there are trucks from these big oil majors, and just truck after truck after truck from these oil companies going in there to rebuild the infrastructure. And I ask myself, why the fuck couldn't we do that to Saddam's dumbass, man? Why couldn't we just go in there, snatch him up, and then take the oil? Like, why couldn't that have happened in Iraq? That's basically what's happened in Venezuela. Why couldn't we have done that in Iraq? I don't understand. Unless the
intent... didn't have the same tech at the time, for one.
You don't think so?
Nah. I mean, they were talking about just using these. I don't know if you guys. I'm multitasking, unfortunately. Claude Code session just finished its large task, and I was just trying to get it onto the next one. But like, they walked into Maduro's thing, and they used some new kind of sonic weapon on everybody in the building, and they all just fucking fainted, basically, is what I'm told. And I don't know how much of that is rumor or true, but the way they just swept in there makes me think they have some sort of new technology, which is super incapacitating to people who are unprepared for it.
Well, Peter Ducey was talking about that last year, where it was 2013, I think it was. He was involved in a demonstration where he said that, yeah, it was like, I don't know, you were like, started to bleed from the nose or something. It was like you just couldn't even do anything. You were just incapacitated from the sound. And he said it was pretty wild, but I think it was back in 2013 or something like that he was when he was involved with it. So
yeah, like there's sound waves that make us anxious, there's sound waves that makes us angry, there's sound waves that make us poop rumors.
I have a singing bowl that
the old brown,
when you start going around that singing bowl, man, it fucking makes your whole body tingle, dude. It's crazy.
And like, there's also sound waves that can make you feel fear.
Here's what I want to get onto like next a little bit, besides the fact that Trump just said he's going to release all the alien files. Like a half hour before the show started.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think we covered that. Like, he actually literally said that. He said, I'm going to release everything on aliens, because Barack Obama just said that aliens were basically real. And then Trump said he should not be releasing classified information. And then Trump is like, I'm going to release all the information on aliens. So like, total distraction tech, like Project Bluebeam written all over it. But like, I think if we don't have alien tech, we at the very least have created an alien on Earth through AI, to get back to the AI stuff, and it can model some pretty incredible weaponry, I bet, because it's got this ability to synthesize a lot of different information in ways that we couldn't before. And that's all that creativity actually is. It's the synthesis of the experiences that we had manifesting into a product. And there's going to be some really interesting upgrades in they're already happening. There's 3D printed engines that were created within a week. And these are just new designs for engines that they printed out of die-cast metal that I just saw. And they just let AI get a CAD tool and say, design the best 3D engine you fucking can. And it did. And it's more efficient than any of the engines we've ever created. And it's cast from one piece. And so like these are totally new designs, and like apply that to weaponry, and then think about the fact that the government is always like about 20 to 30 years ahead of the technology that the consumer has. And
maybe that's a psyop.
What AI does the government have that we don't? Because one of the things I want to tell you from a story, if I may, before David, is that when I was recruited with the CIA, okay, he highly encouraged I get into AI. And I don't mean like a little bit. I mean, like, this guy was like, the field you need to get into is AI. And I was like, AI is nothing right now. It's like 2018. There's like nothing there. There's nothing interesting. He's like, they got this thing called large language models, and they're really interesting, and they could produce text and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, you know. It wound up being like basically ChatGPT before it was ever fucking released, and he was trying to steer me towards that. I didn't know that. So like, I'm like, nah, crypto, I want money. But like, the thing is that like, and that's not how I got into Ava Labs or anything like this. That's totally unrelated. I weaseled my way out of that bullshit. I knew better. But like this is what he was doing for almost a year, talking nonstop. Like, you need to go to AI, you need to go AI, and I didn't bite. And now I'm like, shit, dude. Like, he was trying to tell me something. These people have tools that we don't have. If ChatGPT has the ability to charge large language models at trillions, the government guaranteed has the ability to do it at quadrillions of, you know, of what, you know, it's insane. So what are they able to do with AI that we're only seeing now in the consumer market that's scaring us, that's probably making them shit their fucking pants even more? What is China able to do that's making our government shit the pants and invest so heavily into AI that all the AI stocks are with no effort? Like, I got 7% of my portfolio in the past week, right, from AI stocks. Like, that's a lot.
Well, actually, you know what? Let's
I don't know, bro.
Well, hold on. Let's freaking move on over, because I know, Colin, you did if you want to share, you did a massive shift of your portfolio recently. I mean, is that something you want to talk about?
Yeah, I got out of crypto. It's not that crypto is bad. I actually think it has purpose. I think its purpose is going to be the currency for AI. And if you see a lot of the shifts in the crypto space, it's going in the direction of X402 payments. And so I'm building a product around X402 payments. But
Colin, we've got to talk, bro. We've got to talk.
Okay. But my take on it is that assets on chain mean nothing to humans, but they mean something to AI.
Yeah, bro. And X402 is going to be eaten alive by Lightning and Nostr, bro.
No.
Yes.
Well, hold on. I want David to explain that, because my understanding.
Why would you say
that?
It's
just I'm not the biggest brain in the room.
Right, that's the whole point.
Have that crown, and probably Jeff. He's just quiet. But X402 is what allows AI to navigate paywalls and actually overcome those limitations that they used to have. So, David, how do you feel that relates to the rest of what you're talking about?
Sure. So X402, in my opinion, and EVM chains and Avalanche and SUI and XRP Ledger and BNB chain, all of these smart contract platforms, and especially the integration with X402, trying to like bring AI agents onto EVM chains in some way. Like, dude, it's just trying to update the TradFi system, that US dollar-based KYC AML permissioned system. That's all it's doing, is bringing that onto digital rails. But the thing is,
what X402 is it's allowing like automation of a lot of things that we were talking about earlier on in the show. Colin with what he's doing.
Don't guess. I will tell you what X402 is. It uses.
No. I know exactly what it is. I'm just
for the audience
to bring the conversation, because I just don't see where, like, Lightning is great. It speeds up the.
But you see what DeFi Don just posted, Mike.
Lightning's not great, by the way.
Lightning is fucking amazing, bro. It's amazing.
That's emotion. That's emotion.
Absolutely amazing.
Well,
so,
but
you see,
can Lightning? Can you integrate AI with Lightning? And
yes.
Can Lightning, navigate paywalls?
Yes.
How?
Yes.
How?
You can build literally any app on top of Lightning and Nostr, literally anything. But the difference is, it's not just like.
Okay, go ahead.
I've already built it. I've already fucking built it, bro. Like, I'm going tomorrow in Tampa to go raise money.
I'm trying to build things that communicate value without needing. So, like, for instance, I can.
Then you need to be building on Nostr and Lightning.
I can send USDC from Base to Avalanche.
But forget about the USDC. That's the thing, though. Like, if you're on USDC and your unit of account is the dollar, then you're in that traditional financial system.
Hold on. I see the disconnect here, and I want to clarify this and verify it before we move on. So David is, and I know David not really well, but pretty well. He's more remove himself from the traditional finance system, remove himself from the dollar peg, because of he's a very smart guy and he sees the writing on the wall, as do I. Colin is more of I'm existing in the world as it is right now.
Yes.
And the reality is that the dollar and dollar peg stable coins
But
are
you don't have to choose. That's the mistake.
But you do, because not everybody's onboarded to Bitcoin, brother.
No. But that's the thing, Mike. You can go back and forth. You can go back and forth in 60 seconds.
Well, but can somebody with fiat
Yes.
use the Bitcoin Lightning Network?
Yes.
How?
You can, because there are APIs that allow you to go from fiat to Lightning within a minute.
Well, like if I walk into a business and hand them cash, are they able to?
Yes. The answer is yes.
Well,
that's
right.
what I built.
I'm not going to get into the technicals of Lightning.
Then tell me why. Tell me why no, Colin. Tell me why no. I want to hear from you.
Absolutely. I want to interrupt.
Why I don't like Lightning or any layer 2, I can do that. But
tell me why it's not good.
Well, for instance, you have to, in order to open a channel, you need to have an on-chain transaction which settles in 60 minutes.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is. Then you also need yeah, it is. If you are, yeah, it is.
Here, the gloves. Gloves are coming off. Let's do this.
Absolutely.
Keep going, bro. Keep going.
It's absolutely true.
It's the Jews.
Colin, keep going. I want you to straw man.
How else do you think you're going to open a channel?
Bro, just please straw man my argument that Lightning is better than X402. I want to hear the contrary parts.
Okay, sure. I don't care about any layers on X402.
You care about the TradFi layer because you're dealing in stables. I care about the transaction.
There's a facilitator. I communicate with the facilitator, and I send actually, I communicate directly, and I say, hey, I want to send this I want to get this data. I put in a request. I send a response, 402, payment required. The payment required response is then passed through the facilitator to the root node, to the requestee. The requestee pays to the facilitator then sends the money to me. It's that fucking simple.
Can you handle micropayments?
Yes, it is.
Can you handle micropayments?
So here, the least amount of money that makes sense for an X402 payment is 0.00, I think 0.01 cent. because the minimum fee is 0.001 cent. So if
that's several orders of magnitude larger than Lightning.
I would love a podcast.
At what point does that value become useless? You see what I'm saying?
It's not. No, it's not. It's not ever useless. Because the value
because the data that's transacted is worth more than that. Like just the data. I'm not even talking about.
They're the same thing. Like the data and the value are the same thing.
The data captures. I'm talking about the actual bits themselves are worth more than that. So like I
feel like it's DOS. I feel like we're talking about like you got Mac OS over on Lightning, and then you got fucking Windows over on X402. And you're stuck in the U.S. Treasury
HTTP protocols. Like it's automatically adaptable to every single wallet that's already out there. They had to add like one function to their library. To integrate X402 into the real world in any real sense or purpose, it's going to be rough. And then you have to require that everybody has a loaded wallet for Bitcoin up on Lightning. And that's not the case because people aren't using Bitcoin for that use case.
You're right about that.
And so, like, literally, like, everything L2, I'm just going to lay this out there, guys. Everything L2 is trash, and I'm including Mega ETH, which, by the way, I think is superior to the fucking Lightning Network, and all it is one central sequencer. It's basically Kafka.
All right, hold on.
That makes it immediately inferior because you're missing the decentralization.
Hold on. I thought I was the only one that's lost. But the whole chat doesn't know what the fuck you two are talking about.
Oh.
You're going to have to dumb this shit down to like single syllable words and grunts.
I would love to have a podcast where just Colin and David like debate everything.
I love listening to David whenever we do DeFi High, and I love listening to him and Colin go back and forth because I learn so much. But we gotta dumb it down so that we can all understand what the fuck.
Okay, so here, let me dumb it down. This is the bull case for Lightning and Nostr. It is non-custodial. It is sovereign. It is uncensorable. It is non-KYC. It is global. and it is headless.
It's not non-censorable because large routing nodes dominate liquidity.
No, bro, but you're using the wrong type of contracts. You just use PTLC, and it all of a sudden becomes private.
I actually understood what Colin said, and I want to flex a little bit. So if I understood you right, Colin, and I want to dumb this down a little bit, what you're saying is there's the whole thing where if there's somebody controls more than 50% of the nodes for Bitcoin.
No, just some nodes, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, but basically, like if they got to a certain point, they'd be able to basically control Bitcoin and make changes.
No, it's not like that.
They would be able to stop routing for your transaction.
Right. So for certain apps,
that's the opposite of decentralization.
One at a time.
So what you guys are saying is true. Absolutely true. If you can control the nodes that route the transactions on Lightning, then you can control the app.
And then the government can just step in and go, no more Lightning, because we you know what I mean?
But Colin, there's been an upgrade recently, though. You can make your transactions private. So it's like it's the secrecy of a Swiss bank on Bitcoin Lightning with instantaneous settlement, basically for free.
Yeah, I know if one node stops, by the way, I saw that comment. If one node stops, the others kick in.
Yeah.
But it's like the Tor problem, okay, with the Onion network. It's the exact same problem set, okay? You know how it was private, okay? But because they had enough nodes on the network, it suddenly wasn't anymore. And so this is the exact same design infrastructure flaw. The same one that, by the way, Monero kind of has. So you
think there's a fatal flaw with Lightning?
I think that it's a fatal flaw with every L2, and Lightning is no different.
Huh. Okay, so can you clearly define that fatal flaw, that when something becomes centralization. Okay.
Censorship resistance goes out the window in L2s.
Well, why do you think
chose an L1 approach is because everything is an L1.
But it's all built on top of the Bitcoin mainnet. So that's the most decentralized.
That's the final resolver if you want to exit.
Right.
But if you're not exited, your transactions are, and not only that, but the exit is somewhat dependent on whether or not those transactions get into your wallet.
But it really depends on the app. It depends on the logic you're running in the app.
Colin having these arguments for like almost a decade now, and it's like the same fucking thing every time. But no, it's better now. And I don't mean to be rude to you, David.
But what if you built on Lightning?
An actual subject matter expert. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here.
But what if you built on Lightning?
This is the only area of crypto that I'm interested in. And
so what have you built on Lightning?
Nothing.
Right.
What does that matter?
Exactly. What the fuck do you mean, bro?
I would dare say that Colin is knowledgeable enough about
what have I built on Avalanche other than Avalanche? Nothing.
That he would be able to.
But bro, like you've never built anything on Lightning Nostr, and you're telling me that what I just built over the last 4 days is not real? Like, come on.
I didn't say it's not real.
Well, you basically did. I didn't give you any details.
This is basically like a trans people don't exist argument. Like
no. See, the mistake I made, Colin. The mistake I made was not giving you details of what I built. So when you're telling me that like the thing, like
your claim was that this kicks the shit out of 402.
Yeah, it's better in every way.
And my claim is that it's not even close.
Right, but you've never built on Lightning.
Hold on. Let's take this. Let's attack this target from a different angle. So instead of talking about Bitcoin, Colin, tell us why you feel that X402, which
but you can't even compare it if you've never built on Lightning. You can't compare it.
Hold on.
Okay.
I want to keep this unemotional and logical. So Colin. Well, I mean, we all get very passionate about our stances and our beliefs, but
I love my Bitcoins.
No, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. But I want to take this from a different angle. I want to hit it from another side. So, Colin, explain to us why you think that X402 is a better way to, or a better tool to, to provide this function than Bitcoin and Bitcoin Lightning and just using apps built on the Lightning Network.
Sure, because the liquidity is no longer trapped to one chain.
Liquidity. Well, it kind of is. It's trapped to one.
No, that's the whole point. I can literally just use the facilitator and send like, well, like I guess like if I wanted to exchange for USDC, I could just go to the facilitator and it will exchange for USDC.
That sounds
I guess
that
like,
sounds
my
great.
point is that like
that sounds really good. How do you go from X402?
In other words,
hold on, David. I should
reframe this because let me finish because I really want to. The exchange happens chain to chain on same chain, but the protocol is chain agnostic. It's okay.
So you're dealing in stables.
Well, I mean, like USDC is one of them, but there's no reason to not have payments in other things. Like
okay,
it's
so
just it's just a payment.
Asset agnostic, or is it mostly stables? Give me
one ETH and give me that is I believe just as I'm only using USDC because it's the only thing that matters. But like,
okay, great. So I think Satoshis are the only thing that matters. But if you're using only US,
that's the thing is like, but if I wanted to do anything other than Satoshis, Lightning only does Satoshis.
Right. But that's the whole point.
Okay,
can you go back and forth?
If I wanted to do anything other than USDC.
Well, but Lightning is not just Satoshis. Lightning is dollars too. Lightning is Satoshis and dollars. If
I wanted to do anything other than dollars and Satoshis.
So I want to know, can you go from X402 to Satoshis?
What?
Can you?
I don't think that there's a X402 protocol. Maybe I'll double check.
So it's like you've got these two different competing systems.
I think it was Base or Coinbase.
Yeah, it supports. I'm correct. It supports other EVM networks at the moment.
That's what I think.
And it also supports Solana. So like this is like
that's because of that recent friggin' collaboration.
It's a new protocol, but there's no. The thing is, the elegance of it means that it's versatile. All I get, it's kind of like REST. You know REST, right?
Well, you know what? Hold on, Colin. Tell me if this is a correct analogy. It's like the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum. You know, when you have like smart contracts and it gave that added functionality.
But Mike, it's not the smart contracts exist on.
No. I'm just saying that added functionality. What I'm understanding Colin saying is that X402 has the ability to scale and grow, where the Lightning Network doesn't necessarily have that ability.
Right, that's what I thought. That's what I used to think until I started building on Lightning and Nostr, and I was mind blown, you guys. Like, you can literally build anything you can think up in your head on Lightning and Nostr, and it is decentralized to the max because it's based on Bitcoin. It is sovereign. It is non-custodial. It is no KYC. It is outside of that traditional financial system, which honestly I detest. I think it's fucking evil, bro. And you actually own your data and your value, and they are the same thing.
That's true with X402.
But it's you.
It's your wallet.
You can be censored there.
I'm sending things to my cold wallet.
You can be censored there, and here you can't be censored.
No, because how? No, you can't.
All right, hold on. DeFi Don,
you can be more censored on any L2 than you could on this.
I don't know. I think you can be censored if you're holding USDC.
You DeFi Don needs to calm down. He says, "Hapu, I think I love you."
Of course you can. Your USDC can be frozen. Your USDC can be censored.
But it's not just USDC. It could be Ethereum. It could be BTC. It could be Avalanche. It could be.
All right, you two.
It's agnostic.
You're right. You're right about those. You're right about those. It's in the coin.
You two need a room?
No. I love this stuff. This is fucking great. Colin, can I share with you guys what I built? Maybe not tonight. Maybe not tonight. But
I just want to make sure that there stays a flow. Like, we haven't heard from Jeff for a while.
And I can't take all the credit for this. DeFi Don has really helped me here.
Hold on, real quick. You guys have had the spotlight for quite a while. I haven't heard from Hapu, and I haven't heard from Jeff for a while. Hapu, I know that this is very technical. I only understand half of it, if that, myself. What are your thoughts on what we're talking about?
I'm just smiling and nodding.
Okay. Jeff, I know that you're technically minded. What are your thoughts on this topic?
Well, I don't want to be stuck in something that can be easily frozen after that whole Linea situation. But I know everything has risk, but that's why as much as I love crypto and stuff, I want to get as much, hard assets outside, like in physical, real world stuff, ammo, guns, gold,
Bitcoin.
Silver.
Jeff, if you were hot as a woman, I'd marry you.
Yeah. You should see me with that shirt off.
Oh, I have, and it's impressive.
Dude, Jeff is jacked, bro. Are you kidding me?
Oh, he is. You would know,
bro.
Oh, no, I'll be honest. Like, he came up here, him and his brother, him and my brother came up here one weekend just to hang out and chill. Dude, Jeff is fucking jacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no,
you got some secrets.
My thoughts on it are I see it, and this could be totally off, but I see, like, where Bitcoin, it's a peer-to-peer, pure money, decentralized, highly secure. I get it. And then along came Ethereum. Ethereum brought smart contracts. I know it has nothing to do with this, what we're talking about.
It does. It does. It does. It has everything to do with what we're talking about.
I get that, but it's somebody in the chat pointed out that there wasn't a direct correlation, but it does have a part.
People just don't know.
Well, hold on. The point I was trying to make is that it was an upgrade to the technology. Love him or hate him, sweatpants and all. But in Vitalik, he saw a pain point. He saw what blockchain could do, but it required smart contracts. It required to get rid of that intermediary.
That's what I thought. It doesn't, though. It doesn't.
Okay, explain.
Okay, let me explain. Here, can I share my screen?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let
me share.
Hit everybody, though. Hold on.
Let me share.
Oh, hold on. Let's do this.
My browser. That's all I'm going to share is my browser. And I just want to take a look.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's take a look at this real quick.
Make it bigger.
Yeah, you got to zoom in or something.
Okay. How am I fucking
bigger? That's what she said.
And then make the thing bigger.
Make it Some of us can't call it.
Viagra the shit out of that motherfucker.
Okay. How about now?
Blue Chews.
Blue Chew. I was gonna say Blue Chew.
Well, I think what it is because you're sharing the tab, not your screen.
Okay, is it super
also
shitty?
Your browser's this big, and
it's just we can see like everything, so it's like basically making what you're trying to show us
huge
really
white space.
Okay, super shitty. All right, I'll just share the app. Fuck it. So let me hop in here to the Bitcoin Bank. Actually, let me pop in here. You know what? I'm going to share with you guys the slide deck, okay?
Oh, no. The sales pitch.
I'm going to share with you guys the fucking marketing real quick. But before I run through the marketing, though, bro, let me at least share with you the actual app, okay? So, bro, this is built on Lightning, okay? And this shit is fucking live right now, bro. So this is all you got to do is get a Nostr wallet and on Lightning, and you can work with us at the Bitcoin Bank. Okay, let me connect my fucking Nostr wallet. You know what I mean? There we go. So 18% APY on Bitcoin paid in sats. The fuck you know about that, huh? Nothing. And so you deposit your sats into savings. You move it from your spendable balance into savings. No minimum, no lockup, self-custodial. And I built a perps DEX on top of Lightning and Nostr, and DeFi Don came up with that idea, and it is going to fucking kill it. But the best product here is the card. And so this is like version 1. Lightspark kind of sucks, but assuming that this works, and I don't think it will, then what we're going to do is we're going to pivot to like more of a gift card idea. And it's a gift card, but it's a non-custodial gift card where it's non-KYC. So this is why this works. this all works. And I know you can't really see this shit. Fuck. So the reason why this works.
That's what she said.
It's so small. Oh my God.
Oh, look at how cute it is.
It's so small. Okay. So here we go. Let me just hit play on this real quick. Okay. So it's a Lightning native bank, but it allows you to earn yield natively on Bitcoin paid in Satoshis. Okay. And that is the easiest product in the bank. The actual card is a lot harder. So we all know the legacy finance problems, right? 3-day ACH, all the fucking fees, you're siloed with your data, you don't make any money. And on Lightning, well, fees are zero, settlement's instant, identity is portable with your key, and in the Bitcoin bank, you can earn real yield based on economic activity paid in Satoshis. So it's basically the convergence of the Lightning Network and the Nostr protocol. That's what builds the Bitcoin bank platform. But it's a full-featured bank, and that's what we've all been missing. And that's what I was missing up until last Saturday. I thought that you couldn't build on Bitcoin. I was wrong. You can build on the layer 2. You can build on Light.
That's what I was going to say. Is yes, you can build on it, but it's on a layer 2. Now,
Yeah.
my question would be between Colin and.
But that's the whole point. It's just Bitcoin is the whole point.
Hold on.
Yeah.
We loop this together. So on a layer 2, my understanding, in my limited understanding, and probably most people out there, and definitely the people that aren't into crypto, doesn't the fact that it's on a layer 2 give it a higher risk of exploits and vulnerability and things like that?
No, it doesn't, because you don't have any smart contracts. You exchange the smart contracts,
layer
and
2s are basically one big smart contract.
Well,
please, Colin, hold on, Colin, please explain.
Who, me?
Yeah. You're Colin, aren't you?
Yeah. You want me to explain? I thought you were telling me to be quiet and then let him explain.
No. I wasn't telling you to be quiet. I was just saying.
Think about it. What is a smart contract but a series of code which is automating some process, right? Layer 2s are effectively a smart contract. The only problem is they're validated off-chain, which means they have to come up with systems which do the best job they can to maintain state in sync with the chain and have an exit back on chain.
Yes.
Okay. And this is a complicated problem that adds centralization every time.
Colin, I apologize. Can you repeat? Can you? I know.
He's right. He's 100% right.
But I'm buzzed, and I honestly did not fucking process what he just fucking said.
Let me do it again.
Would you mind fucking summarizing what you just said?
A smart contract is a piece of code that is registered on chain and executed autonomously. Where I say autonomously because it's executed through the chain's validation. As the chain processes, you send a transaction to the smart contract.
In this case, Colin,
the chain validates only if that smart contract was executed properly. It's like a macro in Excel.
Okay, let me simplify.
Kind of, yeah. It is like a macro in Excel.
Hold on. I want you guys to confirm or deny this, because I do this all the time with David, because everything that he talks about so high level, I try to dumb it down all the time because I'm not a super technical dude. But I'm
Colin, you really did. You did, Colin.
Well, hold on. So what Colin's saying is that smart contracts, they are on chain, but they resolve not off chain, but separately. And whenever anything changes in that smart contract, it communicates with the chain to update the ledger.
Right. And so an L2 is a worse smart contract.
Well, hold on.
But hold on. I don't agree with that.
Hold on, David. Hold on. What I just said, is that how it works?
Yes.
Okay. So I want everyone to understand that, because it's important. If you're in DeFi, you need to understand how smart contracts work. You need to understand the mechanics. And if what I'm saying is true, and this is my understanding of it, is that the chain is the ledger. Smart contracts exist both on and off chain.
No,
they are. Well, hold on. Let me finish.
On chain.
What's it? Well, hold on. Let me finish. They are generated on chain. They exist on chain, but the only time they communicate with the chain is if something changes in that smart contract. Is that right?
Let me help you with that too.
Please do.
Okay, so blockchains, series of blocks of transactions, right? Mm-hmm. In a smart contract blockchain, you can add a special type of transaction which has a piece of code attached to it, and that'll be stored on chain.
Okay.
And that code can be interacted with by anybody. And that code can even have permissions so that only a handful of people can interact with it. Certain addresses whitelisted. Yeah. And those contracts have inputs and outputs and can even call each other. So they're building blocks
if told
for
to
large
do so.
pieces of software. Yeah.
Well, if told to do so.
If they're designed to do so.
Exactly.
And so if I design a smart contract that pulls from Uniswap, and Uniswap is somebody else's contract, right? It's a decentralized token swapping thingy, okay? So you can swap your sushi coins for your Doge coins or whatever on Ethereum. Well, I could actually just do that, right, through the Uniswap. But if I wanted to build my own application that inherits the functionality of Uniswap, I build another smart contract, and it just calls Uniswap, which is a public function, a public thing on the blockchain. Okay. Now, methods of accounting can happen in two ways: your wallet, or the smart contract actually has its own method of account that it can keep. So you can actually add funds to a smart contract under your wallet, and it'll keep it, and then you can withdraw those funds from the smart contract.
Because of your private key. Because you're authorized via your private key. You're signing
for the contract. You're signing for that transaction with your private key. Yes.
Exactly.
So the smart contracts are validated all on chain. One long big chain.
Absolutely.
And those chains have latency and they have transaction fees. And so people noticed that as congestion happened on chain, their transaction fees went through the roof. We see this on Ethereum mainnet. Yeah. And so everybody's fighting over the same block space because there's only so much block space that can happen every time a series of transactions is committed to chain.
Every time a block is resolved, yes.
Every time a block is consented upon, agreed upon. So when somebody proposes a block, it only can have so much space in it, and people are fighting over that space. And so to make that space, to make winners of who gets that space, they increase the transaction fees, and people will tip over each other to actually get preferred entrance on.
And that's been a problem with Ethereum, yes.
That's been a problem with Ethereum. And Avalanche kind of has the same problem, but not as much because we're so fast with our blocks. But they decided, okay, this is a problem. So we're not scaling. Transactions are costing a tremendous amount. People are getting front run all over the place. Things aren't going through. What are we going to do? Well, why don't we do transactions off chain? So they developed something called layer 2s. Bitcoin has the same problem. If you want to buy a cup of coffee with Bitcoin,
it's a problem.
It's also not fast enough. By the way,
not fast enough. But not fast enough.
Well, hold on. Before we let David
go,
go,
two different conversations. Let me finish mine first.
Hold on.
You misunderstood what I said.
Before we let the conversation go on, I want to point this out. Where else are you going to fucking hear this type of conversation? Where are you going to hear a bunch of drunk, stoned people talking about fucking blockchain at this level and make it enjoyable?
I'm sober.
Well, you're sober, and I know Hapu is sober. Hats off to you, my lady. And I'm not. And I don't know if Jeff is. And David said he went for a drink. So, all right, me, David, and maybe Jeff. But my point being,
tequila. Yeah.
Please like, share, subscribe. Because all we're trying to do is grow this channel and get this information out there. This isn't
join the arena.
Oh yes, and.
Yeah. Emin Sarir just joined the arena too, the CEO of Avalanche. So, come on.
What's that?
Emin Sarir just became a champion on the arena. So
I'm trying to become a champion, but man, it's fucking rough.
Yeah, he spent $10,000 to get 10 million tokens and did it at a dinner table. So
AVAX, AVAX is sitting at $9.
I know.
I've got a target of $3.60 on AVAX.
Jesus.
Well, I'm going to pull up RWA.xyz.
I don't own any crypto right now, but
Well, hold on really quick. I want to point out that Avalanche right now is number 7 on RWA.xyz as far as TVL.
Number 2.
Well, it used to be number 2, but you got to figure that you got Ethereum, you got Solana, you got a lot of other chains that are growing. Like a Solana, it grew 44.3% just in the past 30 days. Stellar XLM, surprisingly enough, 23.6%. But Avalanche is sitting at number 7. Of course, Ethereum's at number 1 at 14.6 billion. But one of my favorites, Canton. There's some details to look at, but Canton has $351 billion. It's generating over $2 million of fees daily. There's a lot of really bullish stuff. I just want to point this out real quick, just to kind of shift gears and the temperature a little bit.
The temperature's good, bro. It's
no.
Temperature.
I'm just saying it's always good to pump the brakes a little bit. So my point being is that there is a lot of really bullish stuff. If you remove the emotion, like me and David talk about on DeFi High, if you remove the emotion of the price movement and you look at the fundamentals of a lot of these projects and what's being built on, the TVL that's being onboarded, a lot of this really bullish stuff is going on. Now, keep in mind that the antithesis to that is that you have to understand the tokenomics of whatever project you're in, like me and David talk about. Is there a mechanism to where the revenue generated by the chain or the project translates to token holders in some way? So you have to think, and this is the do your own research part, where you need to look into these projects and understand these things. And that's why we beat up so much on a lot of these projects. I'm very bullish on Ripple. I'm not bullish on XRP long term.
I'm not bullish on Ripple. I think Ripple is some type of scam. But maybe they're able to buy their way.
Lawyers and developers, I'll put it to you that way.
Yeah, dude, they're a scam. Absolutely. It's a scam. But Colin,
I wouldn't
Colin,
go. Who knows?
Help me, bro. I want you to help me because
I never got to finish the thing you objected to.
I know, but I wanted to put some
I was trying to give a lesson and I got interrupted.
So here, let me ask you for help, then, Professor. Let me ask you for help.
You need stuff to get summarized because the majority of the show is you guys going back and forth
about Bitcoin.
We need to.
I want to be able.
In your space, this makes sense.
But
when you say X402 and Lightning are competitors and that Lightning is better, I'm going to tell you they serve different use cases.
So what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to go from Satoshis to dollars without having to pass some type of KYC barrier.
Then there's no KYC barrier for
so
X402.
How do you
Michelangelo.
So how do you go from Satoshis on Lightning to USDC on X402 without having to pass through some type of intermediary, like some type of KYC?
USDC, you could just do
how would that
Satoshi
work?
to Satoshi. You
so
give it
tell
your
me,
Bitcoin wallet, and then the facilitator manages the exchange.
Okay, so if I've got, tell me, how would that work?
Huh?
How would that work?
It's trustless exchange. It just literally does it's literally just like, if the facilitator is unwilling to make the exchange, you as the receiver will know it, and the person on the other side will know it, and the exchange doesn't happen because the only person who could sign for the full exchange is the person on the other side. So you send me the transaction, the facilitator has to publish it. So this is the thing is if the facilitator doesn't do that job, where transactions rejected, and you as a receiver don't have to worry, and the person sending doesn't have to worry.
So how long does that whole process take?
And by the way, there's a million of them.
How fast is it? How long does it take to do all that?
About the same amount of time it takes to send and receive a transaction. I mean, so if you're on
which
Base,
chain?
for
Like
instance,
Base?
it's super fast. If you're on Avalanche, it's super fast. If you're on Lightning, it would be super fast if they had a Lightning X402 facilitator, which I believe they probably do, but I never looked into it.
Bro, that would be awesome.
And so
that solves a huge problem for me.
AI wants to do everything, not just Bitcoin. That's my point. And so X402 is a protocol for everything. And if you see what I'm saying?
I see. So it's not competition. It's not. It's like the integration.
Just isn't the same thing. Lightning won't take over X402. It's not the same.
It's like the integration.
It's a protocol for communicating exchange.
Right. It's the communication layer between like the EVM chains and anything else, really.
It's not even between chains. It's literally me saying I
Just
will accept
into
payments
the
in
internet.
this, and then I'll send a payment request, payment required, and they will send me the payments as I requested. I accept these payments for the thing you're asking for, and then it goes, okay, I'll send you this, and I go, thank you.
Okay, so you have no problem accepting payments in Satoshis then?
If I wanted to integrate, I only care about USDC. Like, I'm trying to get paid in money, dollar bills. Like, I don't care about. I can buy crypto on my own. Like, I care honestly, about keeping price stability for my services.
Is the disconnect.
Okay.
The disconnect is that Colin is trying to stack USDC, and David is trying to disconnect. Well, you just said it. You just said that you were interested in USDC.
Way to put that.
And David is saying that he's wanting to stack, Bitcoin.
I can buy crypto on my own, but I need price stability for my services. Price has always been measured in US dollars.
Exactly.
Okay. So here, Colin, let me ask you. So like, here's the challenge. If you can accept Satoshis, if that's something that you can do, then why can't you immediately swap for USDC?
But because why don't I just immediately swap for Satoshis and then Ethereum, and there's more versatility in USDC. And
no. What I mean is,
also my accounting is done monthly, and I need to do that accounting, and this simplifies my accounting. So now I'm on a monthly billing cycle that I would normally use.
What?
You know what I mean?
No. Come on, bro. Like, if you can accept Satoshis on X402, you should immediately be able to swap that for USDC if you want to, right? So then what's the problem?
Through any chosen mechanism of swapping that,
Perfect.
Well, hold on. Well, I mean, couldn't you with an AI? I mean, that's the whole point of X402. Couldn't you have it automatically swap it into Bitcoin?
Yes. Well, that's not going to be through X402. That's just any swapping system that I pick.
Well, no, of course, but you could automate it with the AI, through X402.
Like I could use Coinbase API if I wanted to.
Okay, so Colin, we need to talk further about how to actually implement that, because if I can go from Satoshis on Lightning to USDC on Plasma or on Base, then I can spend that in real life on a KYC debit card if I wanted to. That would be fucking a next level product, bro.
All you need to do is transfer it to that address that the Base thing has, and you're done.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, but isn't that the point of interoperability?
Right? Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do.
This is why you don't marry one network, and so this is why I'm like, my service accepts all these networks, but I accept in USDC because that gives price stability to the agents. So they have a budget, but they don't price their budget on crypto. They price their budget on how much money is given to them, right? It's typically an allocation of value that is usable in the real world. If they want to buy a coat,
but Satoshis are a unit of value usable in the real world. In fact, probably better than dollars.
I have never bought a cup of coffee with I know you can in some esoteric situations, but like, I'm not going to Starbucks and buying coffee with Bitcoin.
Okay.
Well, but hold on.
But sorry, Bitcoin is a speculative asset. This price goes up. Why would I buy a cup of coffee now when I think it's going to be $250,000?
I'm thinking about it a little bit differently than you.
Pay in Bitcoin, and because of X402 or other interoperability, it would just automatically, if the business owner wanted, automatically swap it into USDC. Or swap it to Ethereum, or swap it into Solana, or whatever.
After it's received.
So Colin, if you only receive in USDC, then I wouldn't be able to.
That's a choice.
So then, if you can say to your X402 agent, you accept Satoshis now, and then once you accept those Satoshis, you immediately swap for USDC. Would that work for you?
But why would I use Satoshis?
Well, because that's what I want to send to you.
It's less volatile than all.
I would rather you just do it in the unit of account that I care about.
But
So
I can't do that.
All my accounting
I
goes
refuse to
taxes
do
that I
that.
report, okay? So when I receive money, I want that book of account to be in US dollars.
So can you do it or not?
Well, this is a valid point. Jay says when factoring in dollar devaluation, Bitcoin is superior.
I feel like you're overthinking this. You could swap before you send it. You could swap after you receive it.
I can't.
But the swap doesn't happen over X402. It happens. The X402 is just a transfer protocol. I say payment requested, and then it responds, and then I go payment received.
You can receive the Satoshis, yes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you can receive the Satoshis,
if you find a facilitator which supports that, yeah. David's gone out.
He froze.
David.
Well, at least it's him this time and not me.
This time it's the AI. It's taking him out. He's thinking too hard.
That's
David.
You know what? Me and DeFi Don, we've decided that David actually is an AI, and that he, because of just how high level he is. But
bro, I'm just trying to figure out, like, if I've got Satoshis on Lightning.
Hold on, David and
Colin. I want to be able to work with Colin because Colin can code up some shit that I need.
That most people have is it's so high level that I have to interrupt and like try to help dumb it down so the rest of us can fucking understand what the fuck you're talking about.
Okay, so check this out, Mike. If you've got Bitcoin,
grunt at me.
I have Bitcoin. I want spend Bitcoin on coffee.
I need grunts and like drums and shit.
I need some fucking crack cocaine. Okay, so gotta spend my Bitcoins.
Yeah,
I want to go from Lightning to USDC so that I can go to that ATM. I can get those sweet dollars. I can buy my crack. Okay.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
X402.
You can off-ramp some of your liquidity.
So if I need to off-ramp that liquidity. So if I've got Satoshis.
Oh shit! David has a buzz. I heard a slur.
So if Colin's got a way to go from Satoshis to USDC,
I don't. You're misunderstanding X402.
Okay.
So, please explain.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me.
Somebody says, I want this data. I respond with an HTTP request that says payment requested. They receive that HTTP 402 request. It's like a 200 request or a 500 server error 500, except it's a 402.
Keep it simple. Don't get too fucking technical on us.
These are the things that I need. I'll accept USDC, Ethereum, whatever. Okay, I'm only accepting USDC. It's your job as the sender to send me what I want.
So no,
you've chosen not to receive.
And send it to me. Now
okay, then that's not going to happen.
Do whatever the fuck I want with it.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen then. Man, you're working on this ancient system.
Hold on. But like he chose not to do that. But is X402 capable? Say David wants to buy something from you. He wants to use Bitcoin. Does it have the ability to swap into USDC, which is what you?
It's not a swap. Those exist.
Okay.
You don't need me for that. You don't need X402 for that. Those exist already.
Okay, no. I want to understand the mechanics of this. So, like, if David is the customer and you're the business owner,
you're not going to get paid as the business owner because you got a shitty old system that can't fucking accept the payment that I want to pay you in.
Well, no, hold on. That's what I want to get at. That's the root of what I want to get at.
So
David has. Hold on. David has Bitcoin.
I don't care.
I'm not right because I'm going to build my own shit.
David, hold on. So David wants to pay in Bitcoin. Colin wants USDC. Can X402 facilitate that transaction?
No.
Okay.
It doesn't do that.
That's a problem.
Swap.
That's a problem.
No, it isn't.
Okay, how?
Because if I said I accepted Satoshis, I could accept Satoshis.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like
I don't want Satoshis, and you're asking X402, which is a simple protocol for sending point to point.
Can can David?
It doesn't swap.
If you have a website where you're selling widgets and gadgets, and David wants to buy a widget or a gadget,
accept Bitcoin? Really?
Hold on. I'm trying to simplify this so everyone can fucking understand. So David wants to buy a widget or a gadget. Colin, you sell widgets and gadgets on your website. David wants to pay in Bitcoin, but you will only accept USDC. Can he connect his wallet? Can he pay in Bitcoin? And you end up, after all the fucking shit happens behind the scenes, you end up with USDC in your wallet. Can that happen?
That is a third-party system that David is responsible for.
No, I don't think so. I think Colin just is too lazy to set it up and doesn't want to because he doesn't want the Satoshis.
I definitely don't want Satoshis.
Right. That's
no, but I want to get at the root of this.
I do not need you to tell me what crypto
I want to get at the root of this. We need to understand this technology. So
it's simple.
Can X402, through existing technology and its functionality, facilitate that transaction from Bitcoin to fucking USDC?
No. X402 can't.
Then that's
X402 can't.
That's what the audience and I want to fucking know. So X402
that's what
is not the magical fucking
exchanges
thing
are for.
It's being made out to be.
Protocols. Wrap your Bitcoin, send it to Polygon or whatever with Arbitrum, and then have that.
People aren't going to do that.
Exactly. So this is just for payments. Like this is literally just for payments.
Honestly,
if you are Canadian and you no longer want to accept the US dollar,
is for automating AI.
Then you can go to Lightning.
Kick off, you hoser. Like
honestly,
that's
the only thing I see,
but that's the whole problem. Hold on, Mike.
Automating AI,
bro. Hold on.
I'm telling you, crypto is pretty useless.
But what Colin
in general
is good for, right?
So what Colin just said about, hey, if you want to do business in Canadian loonies and I don't want that, I can tell you to fuck off. Like that's the whole problem, man. Is that if you're working on Lightning, on Nostr, and you're building there, it's uncensorable. No one can tell you no. You can't be told no by some institution or some government. It's 100% because of the fucking Jews. I see DeFi John.
David, I was hoping you saw that.
I'm the institution.
Perfect. I couldn't have timed that.
It's because the freedom money. Colin doesn't want the freedom money. He wants the US dollars, Jewish money.
And then I want to manage my taxes and my accounting in US dollars every month. And then I'll do whatever I want with those US dollars. Maybe even buy some crypto.
Apu, where did you go?
Letting
How
you
much
tell me
in taxes and for
what my value will be.
The fuck are you paying? What are you paying for, bro? You're paying so that what you don't get.
That I'm paying to stay out of prison.
Yeah, what the fuck is that? That's called extortion, my guy.
Yes, it is. I agree. I don't care. It's still the reality we live in.
No, it's not.
I don't live in Narnia. I can't that shit and comply. Taxes.
Why the fuck do you comply, bro?
Because I don't think it's worth the risk.
Well, more power to you, bro.
I am
the most American thing that you can do is avoid paying taxes. That's the most American thing you can do. Our country was founded on the back of a fucking tea party over a 2% tax.
Everybody and now, clip this and send it to the IRS.
Yeah, IRS can fucking eat my ass, bro. Fucking, I'm telling you, dude. Like, the most American thing you can do is avoid. There's a difference between evasion and avoidance. Okay, you can avoid paying taxes.
Trust me, I fully get where you're coming from, but Wesley Snipes and fucking what's her name, the flower arranging like homemaker chick that was on like fucking HGTV or whatever that went to jail for fucking tax evasion and shit like that, insider trading.
Bro,
Martha
seriously,
Stewart, that's it.
Bro, honestly, like, fucking, dude, like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. Like, what are you getting for that money? Like, what are you getting for it? You know, what do you get?
Oh no, don't get me started on that. That will take us down a whole.
Oh my God, look at his shirt.
No. No, dude, I I worked for the government for 22 years. Don't get me
He's got a
started
shirt for every topic.
how they use our fucking tax dollars, dude. I'll blow your fucking mind.
Bro, they're talking about.
Do you feel better now, David, that I'm wearing this shirt?
I love your shirt, Colin.
Yes, you're welcome.
Oh my god!
Hold on one second.
Dude.
I'll be right back.
You gotta start accepting some satoshis, some private satoshis. Get out of that system, Colin. It's an evil system, man. Get out of that shit. Yeah, dude. This stuff on Lightning, though, I think that once Colin starts building on Lightning, he'll have a real appreciation for the superiority of my views. You see, his views right now. You see, he's just stuck in like the old ways, all right? And the old ways are X402, some forgotten HTML code that no one used for anything because it was worthless. And now it's being brought back by Coinbase to facilitate payments between agents. Colin's just stuck in the old way of doing things. All I'm trying to do is upgrade his skill set to Lightning and Noster. And once he gets that, then he's going to be able to defund the HOA. It's going to be great.
He's got a shirt for every topic.
Oh my god!
Yes, he does.
Where are you getting these shirts from, bro?
He's just like swapping them out.
He has his own T-shirt printing.
No, he likes funny T-shirts, and like that's the two things he owns a lot of his T-shirts.
He owns a lot of witty T-shirts.
Yeah.
You know, I used to have a collection of socks. I used to have like all sorts of different, like, stitched socks and shit. I didn't really have the T-shirts. Wow. Hey, what's that one?
Really quick. And hey, hold on. Apu, feel free to tell me to fuck off. But are you and Colin willing to share your, like, I know that Colin went to visit you in Finland. Are you guys open to sharing kind of like your experience? Because I know you guys met online. You met through crypto. Are you guys open to like kind of sharing, a little bit about your first meeting in Finland?
Oh, I was so nervous. I was shaking and panicking and like and Colin was trying to get me to calm down.
At the airport, or?
Yeah. And then we got lost, and then I asked this airport like car guidance person how to get to the taxi place, and he I don't know, he was very friendly, so he took us like all past secret doors and stuff to get to the taxi place. And Colin was just like following us while I was talking to this maintenance guy.
Yeah, they're talking shit about me.
Did you guys do anything fun like while he was there?
Yeah, so much fun.
Like go out to eat or go see the sights. Like, I mean, what did you show him about your country? I mean, Colin,
not much because
I had this shirt before I met her, by the way.
well, I mean, have you ever been to Finland before that, Colin?
No.
So, like, what did she show you?
Nothing. It was too cold.
Now, don't get too spicy. I don't want to hear about your first meeting, like that. I want to hear about your first meeting. Like, what did you guys do, like, outside the house?
It was too cold for Colin.
Really cold.
It wasn't that cold.
It was fucking cold.
It wasn't that
cold. It was like
cold.
minus 20.
Yeah, it was minus 16. It's not that cold.
Hapu, because like my brother, he's very warm-blooded, and he comes up to my cabin, and if it's even like 32 degrees, he acts like he's dying. And I tell him about stories when it was 30 below, and my pump house, where my pump and my pipes are, the heater went out. And one Christmas Eve, it exploded because it froze solid. So my pump exploded, the pipes exploded. I had no water and had to rebuild. So like a lot of people out there don't understand what 30 below feels like. 30 below is nostrils will like freeze shut.
Yeah. Colin got his like lips went all chapped and
Oh, it was gross. It was gross.
So like, what did you show him while he was there?
well, not much because it was too cold for Colin, but there was this like annual light show, and one of the light exhibits, like light art exhibits, was outside near our hotel. So I showed him that.
Oh, we were busy.
Ush.
Colin, a gentleman
I
of
took
the
her to a
pills.
Michelin 3-star restaurant.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes,
Oh,
indeed.
tell
What
us
was it
about
called
that.
again?
No, honestly, like tell us. I mean, I know it sounds
It
somewhat
was weird.
like. No, I want to hear like what like a Michelin 3-star restaurant. Like, what is that experience like?
Expensive.
Well, of course, but like, is it worth it? Because a
No.
lot of people haven't done that.
It's an experience. I had fun, but like it was like a lot of little plates that came one after another, and they kept like explaining the plate in detail, and I'm like, I don't know what half that shit means. And it's
like,
kinda
just
me
give me
talking
the
about
food.
crypto. Yeah, pretty much. And I was like, "Where's the steak?" And there was never one. There was no steak. It was always, well, like, this is a mushroom, and in the bottom is an oyster, and it's like, what are you fucking talking about? This tastes weird.
All right, you
liked it.
you need to come up and visit when Jeff and everybody else comes up and visit, and I'll make tomahawk steaks for you in a cast iron pan on a campfire that will fucking knock your dick off, dude.
I like my dick where it is.
Well, it's a detachable penis that can be reattached.
Detachable penis.
Exactly. I don't know. How old are you?
43.
Okay, you're old enough to understand that reference.
Yes.
All right. So those that don't know, that's a song.
That's a song. Yeah. I mean, like, look, I've heard every. I don't know. I kind of get back on the crypto thing. I've heard every narrative under the book at this point. I simply have found out that at the end of the day, people still want dollars. That's not going to change. The government decides what money is. Yeah. And I know that my book of accounting at the end of the month has to be stable, right? After that, I can invest that money however I personally choose, right? But at the end of the month, my money can't drop 20%. And then I have to liquidate tokens to cover taxes, right? Or gamble that they won't go even further. I need a stable book of account. I need to take that money, put it away, and then use the rest to fund my life. X402 can exchange any asset, right, that the facilitators allow. But I choose USDC because I want flexibility at the end of the day.
Just really quick, Colin, can I simplify this? Because I see the disconnect between you and David. David sees more value in stacking Bitcoin because it's more resilient towards inflation and printing of money and all those things.
Is it though?
Well, that's his viewpoint, right or wrong.
Not.
That's his belief. Again, that's just what it is. You're like, I want to accept a medium of payment that's more widely accepted because you're wanting a more immediate, utility for whatever that medium of accounting, like you put it. So money. You want something that is more widely accepted because you're paying for different things, goods and different services.
No,
and
it's not that. It's literally
okay. Then
not
what is
that. It's the fact that at the end of the month, my books have to balance against the USD value of whatever is put into my wallet.
Okay, so your stance is more about a taxes and a bottom line from a business standpoint.
I can help you with that, Colin. I can help you with that.
Well, and hold on. I want to finish this thought really quick. And
but
David's
it's not a problem that needs fixing.
is fuck the system. The system has failed us. I'm getting into Bitcoin. I want to accept Bitcoin as the medium of payment because the dollar is fucked. That everything's wrong with the government. They're a bunch of pedophiles. and we're just gonna fucking,
Yeah.
we're going with Bitcoin come hell or high water. Am I wrong?
Yeah, he's got a philosophical.
No. I want to hear David because he was gone.
Yeah, bro. I did another drink.
Coke went up the wrong nostril.
Easy now. What were you doing off camera? Come on now.
Bong rips off camera.
Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Lightning and Bitcoin is uncensorable. Okay, that's the thing. And Colin is right when he talks about layer twos introducing risk. That is true, but not in the way that Lightning is decentralized, bro. Like those nodes are global. Oh, you don't like it?
I'm sorry. I just don't want to have this argument yet again. And every time they do a revision, it's to harden the network for a reason. It's because they keep finding.
So look, let me ask you this,
Watchtower it's still technically the same design. The Watchtower design.
You and I can work together so that I can go from Satoshi's.
Win a tech argument against me.
Okay.
And I don't mean that to be a hubris. I'm saying this is because this is what I know.
Look, I get it. You know the shit, but you've never built on Lightning or Nostr. I get it, bro.
I don't have to build on
you
it
don't
to
have
understand
to
the
build
infrastructure.
On it. That's right. You don't have to get it. I get it, man. You're like a teacher. You know, like if you can't do, you teach. So it's all good. Maybe you should work at Berkeley. You could go work at UC Berkeley.
I built Avalanche,
awesome,
for
bro.
instance. So, I mean, like, I don't know what to tell you.
And Avalanche looks like shit. Yeah, bro. Avalanche looks great if you want your token to go to fucking zero. So
that had nothing. Awesome. That is a business problem that
is
out of my control. But the tech is still solid.
Tech is solid. Token not solid. Awesome.
Token is not solid. Correct.
Right. Token not solid. Tech super solid. Just use my shit. Just like all these people are not fucking tech solid. Bro, Lightning is the future of everything.
I've been hearing that for how long now?
Yeah, well, because you never built on it, bro. Please let me show you how to build on it. Like,
why do you think it's going so poorly?
What's going so poorly?
Hey, Nick, don't knock it till you try it. But like,
hey, I know people that have tried gay sex 3 times just to be sure that they're not gay.
That's pretty gay.
You know what?
I'm just saying, your G-spot's in your butt, boy.
Hey,
no. Why are you going to ignore all the pleasures in life? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'll share a backstory real quick. So when I was in the backstory. So no, when I was in the military, I had a guy that was in my unit, fucking huge dude. I mean, the guy was just looked scary as fuck, and he knew how to fucking, obviously he knew how to handle himself. But he would go up to people in bars just to fuck with them, and he would like get super fucking close, and he'd be like, "Are you gay?" And of course they're like, "No," and he's like, "Oh, how do you know?" And he's like, "I know I'm not gay because I tried it 3 times to be sure." And just to watch the person's fucking like body language and their face just fucking we used to laugh our asses off. And I know it's kind of an inside joke. You had to be there to fucking understand it. But to watch somebody that fucking uncomfortable from a distance with somebody that's like 6'6" and like fucking 280 pounds of muscle that has been trained to freaking kill people is like talking to this person saying this. It's actually a very good insight into being able to read people based off nonverbal communication. And I'm using this to kind of loop this into the conversation because you can listen to 2 people having a conversation and you can watch the body language and the facial, like the microfacial expressions.
What's the shirt say?
What's that?
It's the same one. I still crack for the CIA.
Oh, it's the same one.
I just feel like this is a...
But I'm sharing something here, and it's honestly, it's very valuable. And if you look into it and you learn it as a skill set, it's something me and David talk about on DeFi High, is building your skill set. I talk about it in homesteading. I talk about it in emergency preparedness. This is the only tool. You can have all this fancy gadgets you want. You can do all the fucking crypto investments. You can have the GPS, whatever. You can have all the fancy tech you want. This is the only thing No matter where you go, you have it with you. And if you use this and you program this to be able to serve you no matter what situation you're in, you're going to have an advantage over everyone around you with situational awareness, with emergency preparedness, with investing, no matter what aspect. This is your most powerful tool. And this is why you need to educate yourself. You need to find quality content. And again, not just in crypto, not just in investing. Where you get your news is vitally important. If you do your own research into the data and the information that you are getting bombarded with to ensure that it's accurate.
Tough to do because it's like drinking from the fire hose these days.
It is. And I want to shift the conversation a little bit to that, because I know, David, you're very passionate about this. What are your thoughts on that?
My name's Jeff.
Exactly.
I like news.
And can you dumb that down for us a little bit in simple terms?
Oh, bro. Like, look, I think that when it comes to news, I think that we've got literally like a legacy media that is an extension of the DNC that is partisan, posing as journalists
of politics.
I think that that's what you've got on like the mainstream side. And then you've got like all like this indecipherable web of social media posts. You don't know which ones are paid to produce like some type of outcome or not. It's really difficult to understand what's real and what's not if you're just looking at a screen, because now everything can be faked. Okay. Like you can't tell if what you're looking at is actually real or not. And unless you're on the ground in a place, it's tough to know the ground truth there.
Well, now, and in the military, we call that boots on the ground. And so in a command structure, you always trust boots on the ground over, like an intel analyst that's looking at data, because there is a different reality. You have the human aspect when you're boots on the ground, and that's what media used to be. Those of you that are old enough, like me, gray haired, fucking beard and shit, you used to watch the news and there was investigative reporting, and if they were reporting on something, they were actually in the mix of it.
That's not a thing anymore.
No, it's not. They were under fire. And like people actually made sure that the information they put out was factual. Now it's how quick can we get it out? How quick can we break the news? Who cares if it's true? Let's just break the fucking news.
Bro, it's worse than that. I think now it's more like, well, which advertiser is running ads today and whose narrative should we push today because they're paying us to? That's what I think. It's really just all about money. I think it's just straight up bullshit, all of the media that you can consume. It's really horrible. And that's why I like Bitcoin so much. That's why I like Lightning so much, because it's an out. It's an out.
David hard fucking left turned into fucking Bitcoin.
You like that? That's what it is, because it's freedom.
Let's bring that shit right back to Bitcoin.
It's freedom, bro. Like you could build a Bitcoin New York Times on Lightning and Nostr.
But my point is the point I'm trying to make in a very subtle way is it's more nuanced than that, because there's so many more aspects to being sovereign than just the monetary aspect.
This bullets.
Go ahead.
You're more correct about that than you are with crypto. You are.
Oh, dude. I'll be the first to admit I'm not
a guy who's
been
in it since the early
days
of
I bring
Ethereum.
People like David and you on.
Like I'm telling you, I'm yes, I'm pulling the old gray hair hat card on you guys now, but like
you're not pulling shit, dude. I'm grayer than all of you, so fuck off.
Well, I'm talking about as far as this space goes. Like,
when did you buy your first Bitcoin, Colin?
Well, it's probably I don't know. When was yours? Mine was
2012,
2015. So yeah,
that's right.
Higher than me.
How you like them apples?
That's great. Okay, cool. Good for you, man. But my point is
hold on, Hapu.
I've been working in this space.
Boys, hold on. Hapu has started to speak. I want to hear what she has to say.
I have to go.
Yeah, it's very late over there.
Yeah, early. It's like almost 7 a.m.
Hapu, thank you so much for being here. You're
Thank
beautiful,
you.
and we are grateful
Thank
that
you.
you came. Colin, say goodbye to your lady.
Bye, Hapu. I'll talk to you in a bit.
Bye bye, baby.
Bye.
Bye bye, baby.
Love you.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good night, Hapu.
She didn't say it back. Uh-oh. But the I don't know. Like what I'm saying is like I've heard promises for a long time now. And it always comes at some point you're my like reality. The more I got into the space professionally, the more I started realizing that at the end of the day, people still want the same things. Okay, they want to buy cars, they want to buy houses. And right now we've had a lot of attempts at doing that and they can't. So the problems we have to solve for crypto to be legitimate isn't on the crypto side anymore. The tech is pretty much there. We've basically innovated to the point of redundant, of basically we're doing the same ideas over and over again. There is nothing really stopping us from... The only thing that's new right now, the only narrative that has ever been new is AI agents, okay?
No, bro, it's in the mind. It's in the mind.
And so
Colin,
that's
because
where
you can buy a car or a house for Bitcoin right now.
Like this is the problem we're having with the woke people.
No,
it's not in your mind, it's in reality.
No. So reality is what we make it. Because what we know from history is that money,
microfacial expressions. I'm tired of hearing that.
Money used to be sticks, bro. Money used to be stones. It used to be shells. It was gold at one point. And if people believed that Bitcoin were money, then you could use Bitcoin to buy a car or a house. And you could do that on Lightning.
Who decided she sells? Who decided wampum? Who decided? It is a collective government. And it is by now no longer a collective in that we all don't have a democratic vote. We have a republic. And that republic is heavily influenced by major stakeholders in the fiat system.
Yeah, well, what happens when they fuck up and blow it all up?
If that blows up, we could talk about what we'll do next. But right now, we have to accept now before we can, like, if you get US dollars in massive amounts, okay, you can start paying lawyers to make the real things that you want, because that's where those things are actually
You can do the same thing with Bitcoin. You do the same thing with Bitcoin.
I get
the same exact thing.
I know it. I see it. I've seen banks on chain before as well. My point is
what do you mean banks on chain before? Like, bro, the future is on chain banks that go back and forth.
The chain is a bank.
So being able to go back and forth between Bitcoin and dollars can be done now in 50 seconds.
By the way, that's slow, but okay.
I'm just saying that's fast compared to ACH, compared to a Swift wire transfer, compared to most swaps or bridges. 50 seconds is faster than most bridges.
Yeah, the Avalanche bridge takes like 10. And like,
bro, Avalanche sucks. No one uses Avalanche for shit. What are you talking about?
I don't care. I'm still talking about like legitimate tech here. So the tech has been solved is my point. And so like whether or not you like agree that like again, tech isn't the issue. This is actually kind of my point. That you can still have the tech, but it doesn't matter because it's a social problem.
Well, when it comes
to a social problem.
Well, hold on. When it comes to investing, it comes to not just the tech, it comes to adoption, it comes to building, it comes to tokenomics. There's a lot of different aspects to, from an investor standpoint, to do I want to buy X token? Am I wrong?
So here's the thing. If you were looking at Lightning and Monster in 2021, it's a completely different thing.
David, am I wrong?
One more time, Mike. I'm sorry. Can you pose the question one more time?
Thank you. I appreciate you asking for me to clarify. So my point is that with these different chains, it's like, yeah, you can have the best tech, but if no one is buying that token, if no one is building on that chain, and if there is no apps being built on it,
I see what you're getting at. So, Mike, this is the way I think about it. All of the chains that Colin's talking about and every protocol that he's talking about and that entire system, I view that in one silo. It's the US dollar. It's the US dollar treasury silo. Like all of the chains, everything is in this KYC, AML. Let me fucking extract taxes from you silo. And then you've got Bitcoin. And you've got Lightning. Same silo. It is not. That's the whole point. It is outside of that silo.
How?
Because the only way that you can become part of the silo is if you accept control. You have to accept it. It's on the individual.
What does that even mean? Like,
what it means
if
is,
I own Bitcoin, I'm as equally as self-sovereign as if I owned Ethereum.
No, but you're going to report it to the fucking IRS, bro. That's what it means.
I'm going to report it to the IRS, bro.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm talking about. You're going to fucking report it.
It's not a matter of the token or the network.
It is. It is because
it's a matter of the
sovereignty
legal issues.
No, but dude, Bitcoin is outside of that. That's the whole point.
No, it's not.
Outside. It is.
It still needs on-ramps and off-ramps to be functional.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Not at all. And that's the whole point of Lightning.
Key, like, you know what I mean? Like,
you can buy and sell anything with Satoshis. You don't need the on or off ramps. And that's why there's two silos. You got the US Treasury system where you're extorted for what you work hard for. I cannot buy a
Starbucks coffee with Satoshis. Like,
yes, you can. And why would you want to buy Starbucks? Starbucks sucks.
The point is that if you use an on-ramp or off-ramp, you're not using Satoshis anymore. You're using an on-ramp or off-ramp.
No, but there's no on or off-ramp.
Do you see what I'm saying?
But no. You don't on or off-ramp. You just live on Satoshis.
I could just pay with Avalanche right now. Like,
but no one bought it. But Avalanche does not compare to Bitcoin. Or
I can do that for Ethereum. I can do that for Bitcoin.
But even Ethereum doesn't.
Crypto.com card. You can load it up with your crypto and pay with crypto.
But that's a centralized thing, man. Like,
right. And in order to pay for regular goods, you need a centralized thing,
No, you don't. You need belief. That's what you need. No, you're wrong. You need belief.
Dude, I gotta try to believe it.
You gotta go through the DeFi high school courses, bro. You gotta go through DeFi high school, my guy, because once you go through the high school, you'll understand the history of money. It's all about belief.
I know. And right now we believe intimately. I don't need this discussion. I'm telling you.
Okay.
It still
sounds like some dissonance to me.
Be functional in the real world. Therefore,
no, it doesn't.
Is automatically
no, it doesn't.
Added.
You're just stuck in that system. You're stuck in the matrix, bro. I'm sorry.
Fight Club. Let's go.
This is red pill. I want a red pill Colin. He's stuck in this awful matrix.
No, dude. Fucking let's fucking heat this shit up.
He's just stuck, man. Like, I want to be able to help him get out of this hole of being like you're just beholden, man, to the man. And that man's got a big old dick. And every year around April time, he fucks you with that dick, bro. And you're just like, oh, yes, master. Thank you, master.
You
bet your ass a little deeper this year, master. Oh, thank you, master. Well, what the fuck, bro?
Because the alternative is a possibility of me getting dicked for real.
What the fuck are you talking about? Dude, the United States is not the only game in town.
Got fucking busted for fucking, you know what I mean? Like, this is like,
what I'm saying is that there is a parallel. No, bullshit. You know what? Our lives can end tomorrow. There's no such thing as fucking death and taxes, bro. It's only, do you comply with these fucking faggot ass bitches or not? That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
You comply with the faggot
I say
ass
fucking no, bro. I say no. I say no because I've seen too many of my friends fucking die. And I know how fragile life is.
The British
I don't give a fuck, bro, because I know it can end tomorrow for any reason. And so I refuse to comply with some broken bullshit. I will not do it.
I'm right there with you. I mean, 'cause obviously, just like with my background, being military for 22 years, multiple combat deployments. I get it. Trust me.
I get the sentiment.
But you have to understand the reality of the situation. Most people haven't fucking dealt with that shit. and most people are fucking idiots. I'll just be fucking honest. Most people are fucking idiots.
Yeah,
they
take the
believe
path of least
everything is
resistance.
spoon-fed to them, and they're fucking, or they're reliant on the fucking system through subsidies, like SNAP and food stamps and housing and all that shit, and they're just fucking docile as fuck. That's why people in the military, like myself, or I used to be, considered most of the population as sheep, and we considered ourselves wolves that were willing to do the violence that they were unwilling to do to have the cushy little fucking existence that they fucking enjoy. And they're able to go out and picket, on the fucking, and feel, morally superior and, all that bullshit. They are under the umbrella of the bloodshed by, like it or not. You don't have to fucking love the government. Trust me. I don't love my fucking government. It's obvious that it's broken. But we have a system that, for the most part, has been beneficial to the people. The problem is the people need to take it back.
Not anymore, bro.
Well, that's the problem. Is the people need to take it back.
And so what the fuck are you paying the taxes for?
For VA benefits for veteran.
Well, dude, and I acknowledge that. But
honestly, the purpose of taxes is to take money out.
Hold on. No. I'm not going to let anybody say anything until I say something on this, because I've thought about this extensively. What is owed to me, and I say owed, is a fucking contract. I signed on the dotted fucking line for 22 fucking years to put my life, my body, and my mind on the fucking line to do whatever it is that the people that you fucking voted into fucking office to order me to fucking do. So don't ever tell me that the retirement that I get is some sort of fucking, welfare, bullshit.
Yeah.
That's something I'm not very passionate. I'm not this passionate about a lot of shit. I'm not going to be interrupted on this. I'm not very passionate about a lot of shit, but this I am, because I've lived through a lot of shit. And I dealt with a lot of shit on the fucking promise that I would get a fucking retirement, and that for the shit, the fucking sacrifices I made. So I don't want to get too fucking serious.
Mike, I'm talking about a parallel system where you don't have to be beholden to these pedophile, sadistic, Satanist rapists, bro.
That's easy to remove yourself from. Why? Everything is the mindset.
It is the mindset. It's the mindset, right? That's all it's about. It's the mindset. If overnight people decided, you know what, I don't really like these fucking dollars, but I really like these Bitcoin. Well, guess what? Those fucking dollars go to zero. Colin, look, everyone's using Bitcoin.
There you go. You're still part of the fucking same system.
No, it's not. Because you don't have to ask permission.
It's all
hold on. Hey, I'm going to share some alpha.
It's not. It's fundamentally different.
I'm going to share
fundamentally different.
Kitty porn. Hell no, I don't buy kitty porn.
I want to share some alpha with some people, because I've sat back and I've listened to the tech aspect, but when it comes to the self-sovereignty aspect, I'm the fucking 18 fucking pound head in the room. I sold everything. I sold my fucking 5,000 square foot house, my wakeboard boat, all that bullshit that we're told is going to make us happy. I fucking sold all that, moved out in the woods, lived in a fucking Coleman dome tent, and built my fucking cabin. I have a well, I have food, I grow my own garden. If you want to talk self-sovereignty, I've removed myself from the system. The whole fucking system could collapse. I'm fucking fine. I'm going to have food on my table, a roof over my head. I'm going to be warm. I'm going to be dry. I'm going to have water. I'm going to have all the necessities. Most people out there can't fucking say that. So when it comes to this aspect, I'm the subject matter expert. And I've thought ahead. But, there is ways to accomplish this that isn't cost prohibitive. You can get pieces of fucking property. You can get an acre, which is more than enough to have a very large garden, an acre or two, for like $7-8 grand, which seems like a lot, but if you add up,
Ben, here's the thing, bro. Here's the thing, though. Like, okay, go ahead. How are you gonna pay for your cocaine and hooker habit, bro? Like, because you're out there in the woods, it's going to take a long time for them to get out to you. And like, you only got lettuce to exchange. That's not going to go very far.
You can grow your own weed. And honestly, sex is, it's nice, but it's not required.
I don't know any hookers that exchange lettuce for fucking, like, you're going to grow some fucking lettuce.
Let's be honest, though. Sex is nice. Is it required for you to survive? No.
I don't know, man. I think that men start to lose their minds after a while.
Dude, I'm living proof.
Says the guy who won't use money.
Years without having sex.
Won't use money.
No, I'll be honest.
Bitcoin is money, bro.
I'm kidding.
No, but
it's an asset.
No, but let's get to the root of
it's money.
No, let's get to the root of being a man. Having discipline. We're always talking about discipline.
Just like gold is an asset.
About focus. Can you stave off?
Gold is not money. Gold is an asset.
Well, hold on. Can you stave off your primal urges for your goals? For your, if you have,
of course, but like, bro, like you've got to have a woman there. You gotta have a woman around. I think you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you do. But look, I've had women there like, dude, get this bitch the fuck away.
No,
from
trust me.
It's also,
I think it's different for different guys.
It's much better.
I can go stretches of years without sex and not care.
Yeah. I will say this. It is much better when there's a beautiful woman there.
Yes.
Who supports you. And
it's bro.
Absolutely.
Having someone, yes, exactly. Depends on the woman. But having that person there who just puts you at peace and also like cleans for you and cooks for you and does all the shit.
Honestly. No, hold on.
Seriously.
Without all that, if a woman adds to my peace and doesn't take away from it, that is my one and only gauge.
Yes.
If I want to add that woman to my life.
I actually feel more peace when I'm soothing a woman who's in distress.
I'm the same way. When I feel like that I'm protecting and caring for the woman I'm with, and she provides me with that feminine energy to where and sometimes for David, it sounds like that's.
I don't want to talk about my problems.
What's that?
I just want to have like, that person there who is going to do the things that I'm not good at, but I take care of
Hapu is exactly what I'm talking about.
In the way that like they can't really take care of themselves. Like, so that's what I want is it's a mutual relationship, man. And I've had
well, you know what?
I've had all sorts of
person. I'm not a religious person at all. I'm agnostic. I don't believe nor disbelieve. But in the Bible, it talks about being equally yoked. So did
you say yoked? Equally yoked?
No, yeah. Like a yoke,
really?
like two oxen. Like the yoke.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. Got it.
So basically, it's
I thought you meant yoked, like equally jacked.
No, I know. But no, like biblically speaking, yoke is the board that goes across the two necks of the oxen.
Right.
You're both pulling in the same direction, trying to accomplish the same things.
Exactly.
And so that is important. Again, not from a religious standpoint. I just think the Bible
it's an archetype.
A bunch of really smart old dudes that wrote some shit down. And that was one of the bits of wisdom that they shared.
Mike, that's an archetype. Like that's an archetype for humanity. There are a bunch
of
absolutely.
That's
it is. It's a great point,
wisdom
bro.
That's framed in religion.
But that's part of the problem with the current modern society is that it seems to me as though women seem to be trying to pull against the yoke. And if you've got men who are trying to succeed, but the financial system is fucking broken, and so they literally can't. And then you got women who are like pulling in the opposite direction. Like you're not working towards the same goal. And I think that that's intentional. I think it's driven by, people who want to be able to divide and control. I think that subset is very small, but they've got massive influence on all of our media channels, all of them. And
Dude.
fuck it, man.
No, social media, like mainstream media, all of it. You have to put, like, me personally, just like, and not to say that I get it all right, but the majority of what I put out, I try to vet as much as possible. But I'm not fucking perfect, and just the sheer barrage of fucking information that's bombarded on us, it's hard. I can't stress enough how hard it is to weed through it all. The time that it takes to vet and to, like, double and triple check to make sure that shit's factual.
Mike, you know what it is? You got to be able to admit to yourself that you're wrong. And you got to be able to admit that sometimes, hey, I'm capable of being fooled. And that's okay, because at least I can recognize that I was wrong and admit it to someone else. That's hard to do, man.
No, that is a real measure of a man, is if he can admit, like, if he's presented with new information or new data,
right?
Like, and I constantly try to, and not to say that I'm perfect, but I constantly try to humble myself. And again, like, whenever we're talking about crypto or DeFi or anything like that, I always, David is much more knowledgeable than I am. I'll always trust but verify, but for the most part, much more intelligent on DeFi than I am. Colin is my subject matter expert when it comes to fucking blockchain technology and fucking, the architecture and coding and, all that stuff. Jeff.
Which, by the way, doesn't matter that much.
Well, no, but Jeff is, it does, but Jeff, he is, the airdrop specialist. It's really all I am is I try to find people like you gentlemen, put them in the same fucking room to have these types of discussions. That's my gift, is building teams, is finding people that have the skill sets that can have these complex conversations and communicate that to a wider audience. So sorry, just a little bit of shilling myself.
Bro, you see what Ellie's saying in the chat?
What's
so
that?
Many won't cook or clean. It's like, these fucking bitches, well, they won't cook.
Dude,
they won't clean.
I have no problem cooking. I hate fucking cleaning the kitchen after I'm done. If I can find a woman that will, like, I'll cook like 4 or 5, Michelin star fucking meals. But if she'll clean after, fucking done.
Bro, Eminem had the best line on that. He's like, I want a fat bitch who, like, cooks and cleans and sucks dick or something like that. Oh my god.
Look, I
it's
know I'm
so
good
true.
At one thing, and that's making money. That's all I've ever been. Like, I'm not a good investor per se, but, like, I'm good at doing work that produces results that people are willing to pay for. Most women aren't as good at me as that. And if I'm doing that work, I want to know that another person's going to take care of me and support me in that work, because I provide and bring a lot to the table. And I think that's not an unreasonable thing to ask, but if you ask most modern feminists, that's considered misogynist.
It's ridiculous, Colin.
I don't give a fuck. Honestly, the people that talk about sexism and racism and all the isms, honestly, I don't give a fuck, because most of them, they're perfectly fucking fine with the reverse. Somebody getting a job simply because of their skin color, as opposed to the fucking skill sets that they fucking have, or the job history that they have. If someone is the best person for the job, I don't give a fuck what their sexuality or what their race is. However, if you are hiring based off of somebody's sex or sexuality or skin color, that's fucking racist or sexist.
That is fucking racist.
I don't give a fuck.
That's the definition of it. But then they go, honestly, bro, we redefine racism as systemic. It's like, what? I thought this word had a fucking meaning, guys.
Like, look,
that is the fucking problem. Is words have ceased to have fucking meaning.
Yeah.
Look, if I've got a choice between...
David talks about this all the time. Like, whenever we're on DeFi High, David talks about this all the time. Is, words having fucking meaning. Because otherwise, there's no foundation to have a fucking conversation. Go ahead.
Very, very true. But, like, in our modern era, it's unfortunate that if I come across an applicant to work for me at DeFi University, and that applicant says, "Hey, my name is Shaniqua. I've got purple hair. I'm fucking 400 pounds, and I
Red
live
flag.
in fucking."
Red flag.
Those are red flags.
Yeah.
And like, all right, well, if I've got instead like Alice Smith, and she's like, "Hi, my name's Alice. I would love to work for you." Like, dude, like there are
What if
definitely.
she went, "Hi, my name's Shaniqua. I would love to work for you."
Be great.
Like, so
be great.
See, that's it. It would be great, right? If that was the normal case.
Yeah, but it's not though. That's
That's
thing.
right. And this is the issue. They want to be accepted for who they are, and they don't want to make any changes to themselves. These are human beings who don't want to change. They're resisting their own negative faults and trying to accept them and
trying to push them off on someone else as their fault.
Push the problems
it's like
off on
I'm the victim.
No accountability.
No accountability ever for anything. And it's just like, dude, you're never going to get anywhere if you blame everyone for the problems that, hey, you could fix if you wanted to. But it's like no one's ever been told that, hey, you're responsible for your own actions. And all you've got to do if you want to be a little bit better is not be a fucking piece of shit. It's hard, though. It's hard to do right every day. That's not easy.
Much easier to be a victim.
Much easier.
Nobody respects a victim.
Hold on. That is a huge problem especially in the US, is that victim mentality. That is a huge emotional fucking tool that is being used to manipulate large sections of our population.
But if the people who are actually being victimized speak up and say, "Hey, maybe you shouldn't turn down Asian students at an alarming rate to Ivy League universities," suddenly
you know who the marginalized group is the American fucking
kidding me.
I know.
Well, the marginalized group is the American fucking people.
Yeah.
It's crazy too.
I think this is external threat integrating itself into American culture.
I think so too. I think you're right, Colin. You're right about that.
You can watch that fucking interview. We've referenced it many times on the show.
So, Mike, when Colin said external threat,
hold on. This ties into that, and I know, David, you've watched it because we've talked about it before.
I think Vet knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, David's referenced this when we've talked privately. So that interview in the 80s with the KGB agent that defected, Ivan.
Ivan Zemansky.
Yeah, I forget his last
like that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Look it up on YouTube.
Yuri Bezmenov.
That's exactly it. That's it. Okay, so basically, he lays it out, and he lays out the long game of how China and Russia were planning on basically
communism.
Yeah, infiltrating the U.S. with
it's the most
using the long
ideological system to ever.
Well, hold on, not the short game of military invasion. Actually try because
long game.
Well, because if you look at what they would have to overcome, if someone, the reason that the U.S. is so powerful. Let me give you a little geographic. I mean, obviously, there's a monetary aspect to why the U.S. is a superpower, but a lot of the reason is geographic. You have massive oceans.
Also because white people. That's why.
No, it's because there's massive oceans between Europe and we were insulated. We weren't going to get involved in World War II. The only reason that we got involved was at first it was just a couple of airmen in the UK to help out. You can look this all up. It's all historical. Initially, we just gave a couple of pilots to help the RAF, the Royal Air Force in, Britain to help out in World War II. And then once Pearl Harbor got hit, all of a sudden we're fucking full bore. Like every fucking able-bodied man was deployed.
Yeah, but how what about what about Pearl Harbor? Like they knew those fucking Japs were going to bomb that shit, and so they got their carriers out of there, and they let it happen.
That's an extended conversation. I want to frame the conversation first. So Pearl Harbor is what brought the U.S. into World War II. this is potentially a fucking conspiracy theory because of what David was about to talk about. I want to frame this, though, those of you that aren't knowledgeable about the topic. So, because of World War II, it was a massive emotional trigger to get the U.S. to get behind the war effort for World War fucking II. World War II is what slingshot the U.S. from just being a country to being a fucking superpower. Every able-bodied man was deployed to the war effort. Almost every woman was thrown into like men's jobs. You know, that's where you see those posters with the fucking riveting Betty or whatever
What was her name? Like, yeah. What was her name?
Yeah. No, but this was what was bringing women into the workforce, and feminism started.
It's like Rita the Riveter or something.
Rita the Riveter, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and you have two people now. The mom isn't in the house anymore raising the kids. You have, it used to be where dad was out, providing for the family. It was more than enough money to pay for the house and the car and the cost of living. But it got to the point to where women entered the workforce and feminism raised its head. And this is
That's
where the Russian
That's not good. That's not good. You don't want women voting.
Well, no, but the 19th Amendment. But this is what brought this whole KGB agent into it, is the long game of China and Russia was to integrate into the educational system. The colleges that educated the teachers that went on to be in the elementary schools and the junior highs and the high schools to educate a whole generation.
That's why you got the DEI shit in every elementary school now.
Thank you, David. Take it from here.
Bro, like our entire educational system is totally fucked. Like, let me just give you an example, okay? During COVID, I was taking care of, so my sponsor in Narcotics Anonymous, when I had 2 years clean, I was taking care of his kids because I was basically like responsible enough to do that. He was a very successful agent in MLB. He was an agent for like superstars. And so there was this big ass house, but he was going through a divorce. So during COVID, when everyone was locked down, in the morning, I would get his kids up from bed, and it was like 7 o'clock in the morning. I would make them breakfast. I would sit them down in this classroom that we built for them so that they could go there with their laptops and they could go to school, right? And I would watch them as he was doing whatever the fuck he was doing, and his ex-wife was off doing whatever the fuck she was doing. I was taking care of their kids. And so during COVID, for about a year, I took care of them there in that classroom. And what I saw was the fucking teachers were gay, okay? And they pushed political topics on their students. And we're talking about 7-year-olds and 10-year-olds, okay?
I don't care what your political stance. That's insane to me. Like kids, let them be fucking kids. Like, why are you pushing that shit? I don't care if you're right or left. Why are you pushing that shit on fucking kids?
So, like, the math teacher would go off on these diatribes about, like, political ideology. And he's teaching fucking 10-year-olds, okay? So, like, what the fuck is going on here? I don't know. But when I would drop those kids off to school, and this was in Northern California, in the very front of the school,
California with a K. California.
Yeah, the People's Republic of California, man. And so when I would drop these kids off at school, in the front of the school, they had this big ass banner, and it said like equity, inclusion, and like some other word. It didn't say that. It didn't say diversity. It said something else.
Unless you're white, straight, or Christian,
bro. It was just like
or male.
It was just like, yo, do these people not know what equity means? Like, it's bad, bro. It's really bad. And they don't know what it means because they've never read the fucking Karl Marx Communist Manifesto. They've never I have too. They've never actually read like Gulag Archipelago. They have no idea what the fuck communism is. And so when they see that word, they think,
read Ayn Rand too. I mean, like Rand. Anybody who's experienced communism comes out and goes, fuck that shit.
Dude. Like you get in by voting, but you only get out by fucking
it goes back to that quote of those that don't learn history are doomed to repeat it.
And our kids are not learning.
There's no learning.
George Bush policy to lower the standards of learning.
This goes back to the long game I was talking about with that interview where the KGB agent was talking about the fucking law. And this was back in the 80s. And he was talking about infiltrating the educational system.
And they did
dumb people fucking down.
Mike, they fucking did it, bro. But they infiltrated it successfully with like the worst type of faggots, bro. Like these people will literally push anything because they're retarded. It's like it was so gross to me.
I've been dealing with these faggots, as you call them, since 2005. So the first time I encountered this, I had a roommate who actually was my best friend for a while. We are not as good on terms. He's actually saved my life, but because of this stuff, I can't deal with it. And he was a theater kid when I was going to college, and so the theater kids held some of the best parties, in my opinion. Like they would do a Marquette Sod play, and they'd all run around naked all day. And it's like, fuck yeah, some of these chicks are hot. I'm in. So like, yeah, so like I loved the parties, and I was a heavy drinker at the time, and it's just like they were all heavy drinkers, and it was fun, right? But these people grew up, and at the time they were talking about things like asexuality being part of this gender spectrum and non-binaryism and they them pronouns. And this is 2005 I'm encountering this. And every time I'd be like, that's not real.
It's grooming.
They threatened violence on me. And so I just shut up, right? Because it's like, dude, there's like 8 of them, 1 of me, I just here to drink, right? So like this is what happens. Is that
it's the cost benefit.
They were open communists and I was not. And so I was kind of like inside but outside. You know what I mean? I had the ironic thing about this is I would buy them drinks at the bar because I was making a ton of money and they were broke and I felt bad for them. So I would buy them drinks and they would invite me I found out later they were inviting me just so I could buy them drinks. That felt really bad to find out, not going to lie. But like the irony of that is really clear to me. They are thieves at their core.
But Colin,
at their very core,
the difference is though.
Moochers.
But what these people were doing was to children, bro. Like what you're talking about sounds like.
How do you think they learned it? They learned it from their parents. I'm in the DC area.
Bro, I fucking saw this shit with kids during COVID, and it was just random. Like it was just happened that my sponsor hired me to take care of his kids because he was a piece of shit going through a divorce. Like, and he didn't care about his kids, and he had a big ass house. He could fuck off in one of the back rooms, and I would take care of his 3 kids. Like, he didn't care. So, like, I would just do that all day for a year during COVID, and I just happened to see this shit. Like, how many parents do you think saw on those video calls their kids getting actively groomed by these fucking teachers in these public schools, bro? Like, in these blue states? Probably
they were grooming. They are
millions.
Grooming. How many students are marching right now and the principals are letting them out the building? In my day, we would never, without a permission slip, no less, never allow that. They think they have
because
full liberty.
The principals are activists too. They're activists
too. Absolutely. Yeah. And I saw one where this person was. She was being a bit of a Karen, but she was, querying the principal who was marching with these students, making sure they're safe. And literally, like, she's like, your school has an 18% proficiency in mathematics. Shouldn't they be in class right now? And he's like, well, I think some things are more important. They don't care about teaching them. They want the opposite, and they don't even know why. A lot of these people doing this are useful idiots as well.
Exactly. Useful idiots. That's the term. That's the term that Yuri Bezmenov in 1980 fucking whatever, when he defected.
It's a term from Lenin. If you read Lenin's State and Revolution, it's a term from Lenin.
and Trotsky used it, and Lenin used it. Those guys were fucking butchers, bro.
Dude,
Butchers.
if you know history at all, every single time, and socialists and communists will say this fucking repeatedly. It just wasn't done right at that time. Yeah, but it's been tried like fucking crazy amounts of time since Marx. Yeah, Marx is what it's all fucking based off of, the Communist Manifesto, and all this shit we're talking about. And if you can fucking read it all yourself, and don't fucking take our word for it. It has failed every single fucking time. And communism, or not communism, but capitalism, it's not fucking perfect. But you know what?
It's iteratively perfect.
No, but
It
capitalism has lifted more people out of poverty than any other system in fucking history.
Yep.
There's no other way that we've found that actually works as well as capitalism does.
Exactly. That very, you know what, David, that's an excellent way to summarize it. Thank you.
And you know what? You know what we know about communism and socialism and democratic socialism, all these fucking guises that you got.
Whatever lipstick you want to put on the pig.
Whatever lipstick you want to put on, man.
Sprinkles on shit.
You know what it ends up leading to? Murder. That's what it leads to. That video that you guys saw in France of those Antifa communists fucking beating to death some fucking random kid. Like, bro,
well,
like,
you know what?
It was just captured on camera. Well, that's all. We're going to see that everywhere.
From a first-person standpoint, let me fucking frame it for you. Everything that all of you are out there marching for, especially when it comes to like Islam and anything that leads to Sharia law. What I saw over in the Middle East was the Muslim faith, and if you read the Quran, I have it right here. I've read it multiple times. It does not tolerate homosexuals. It does not tolerate
homosexual. Homosexual.
The Bible has like one line that might say that.
Certain things when it comes to women. Read
They're
it yourself.
Explicit.
But what I will say is that you are marching towards your own demise. I'll put it that way. Because you are going out there and you are trying to change the countries that you live in to where if it gets to the point to where Sharia law is enacted, you are going, if you're gay, if you're homosexual, if you're transgender, if you're a woman, your rights are going to be infringed upon. Every Muslim country I have ever been to, in Saudi Arabia, one of the most progressive Muslim countries in the Islamic world, women just recently were able to fucking allowed to drive. Let me put it into context for you. I'm not anti-Muslim or anything like that. I'm just stating the fact.
Of course you are, you fucking Jew.
That's right, fucking Jews.
I knew it, David, you dirty Jew.
No, it's fucking Jews.
But I'm just stating
all the
facts.
Muslims.
I'm just stating facts from my personal experience.
I'll be the Cartman.
But I want to put that out there. I want to put that out there because fucking gay people get fucking killed in a lot of Muslim countries.
Holy shit, Jeff is Kenny.
What?
Jeff is literally Kenny.
I'm trying to find that
Cartman.
fucking meme.
You are literally Stan. He is literally Kyle.
I know.
There you go. We're South Park. We're going to name the show South Park.
Dude. Hey, you got to get Hapu to make that image for
it. I don't care about that goddamn crypto money. I just want the US dollars.
We'll get Hapu to do the graphics for the show. We'll all change our names to the appropriate names, and we'll market this as South Park Unhinged.
Oh, there you go.
I love it. Can I use the N-word? What the fuck?
You can do whatever the fuck you want here. I don't
Nobody's
fucking
gonna
care.
stop you from saying it.
Jeff, do you care?
There might be consequences.
Nigga.
All right, there you go. All right, say whatever the hell you want.
All right,
we don't fucking care.
That's fucking great, bro.
Those bastards.
No.
Put that. Oh
No,
man.
no. Honestly, like me and Jeff, we're business partners. Like but again, we
Oh.
don't give a shit. Like we're not monetized. We don't care about fucking getting censored. I don't care if there's one person watching or 1,000 people or 10,000 people watching. We're fucking here to just put out the fucking truth. Whatever the fuck, whoever the fuck watches, I don't give, cool. If they don't, that's fucking cool too.
I know, Mike.
I grew up in the South, surrounded by brothers.
I like I said, I fought for this country for 22 years for the I swore an oath to the Constitution, not the fucking government, and I 100% support free fucking speech. Whatever it is you want to fucking say, even especially if I don't fucking agree with it, you're free to fucking say it.
Yeah.
Fucking A, man. We got, all these faggot nigger Jews out there and, taking our jobs.
That's redundant, isn't it? Just ask the Ethiopians.
Don't forget the spick chinks.
Oh my God, these Somalis.
You got to include everybody.
No, don't forget the honkies. Don't forget the honkies.
Oh, the honkies. Yeah. Don't forget the cracker ass honkies.
Oh my God, bro. There are restaurants around here in Florida. It's like fucking cracker restaurant, bro. It's like it's on the sign. It's
right?
Great, dude. Oh my God.
They got one tooth.
Exactly, dude. It's so good.
It's called Waffle House.
Bro, I was at a restaurant for Black people, okay, like last Saturday, and
soul food.
So exactly, that was what it was called.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking
it's called soul food.
I fucking love soul food. Like,
bro, it was so good.
Blackened catfish with
you get the itis, man.
Hold on. With fucking whenever I went down to like the southeast for like training or anything, I used to look forward to getting blackened catfish with proper hush puppies. Proper. Not this fucking shady ass shit. I'm talking like chunks of caramelized onion, maybe a little jalapeno, the corn, the cornmeal. Oh, dude, there's something just on point. Or alligator. If you've ever eaten alligator or you haven't, you need to fucking try it.
Mm-hmm. It was so good, dude. It was so good. But I know that if I was there in the evening, I probably would have gotten robbed, But like, it was so good in the middle of the day. Yeah.
What we say is punch your mama in the mouth good.
Yeah.
It's fucking great, bro. It was fucking great. And then I went to a Bitcoin conference after that.
Some work before the night's over. I'm already distracted anyway, so it's been great. Appreciate y'all. I'm gonna head off. Hope you have a great rest of your evening. If you continue talking, I hope it goes well. And I will see you next time.
I appreciate it, Colin.
All right, guys. I'll only say that privately to one person, so I'm not trying to get canceled for it. All right,
Colin,
guys.
Well, hold on. Colin and Hapu, I appreciate you showing up. I really enjoyed having you both on here. But as always, have a good night.
Thank you.
See you,
Thank you for having us. All right, bye.
That was great, man.
Oh, dude, you know what? Honestly, I would have to say between fucking Crypto and Chill, DeFi High, and this, these are my favorite shows.
Yeah, dude.
And honestly, this one is probably my most favorite because I can just fucking take off all the masks, all the fucking, political correctness and all that bullshit.
Yeah, bro. How do we start driving traffic off of this shit though?
Honestly, I don't care.
I care because, bro, we could have a real audience. There's so many people who would be here.
You know what? I only want to talk to the people that are intelligent enough to have an open mind to new information.
But how do we get the message out?
What's that?
How do we get the message out? There's all these people.
I'm all for that, but you know what? That's the beauty of what me and Jeff are doing here is we just fucking say whatever it is we want to fucking say, and whoever's
show up each week.
What,
Show up each
Jeff,
week
what's
and
that?
just keep doing it. Show up each week and just keep doing it, and then
Exactly.
eventually the wheels will keep rolling, and gain enough momentum, and that's all we really can do. I mean,
Dude,
and the more people that come and enjoy the conversations, and bringing up different guests each time.
Yep.
It just takes time.
What we could do? We could call up some Jews, but if
Oh,
we did this though,
those Jews get
instead
shit
of just. But bro, if you call up the faggot nigger Jews, then you're gonna get the job done.
You're gonna fucking get a very niche audience. Super.
If our channel
audience.
if our channel was in the Epstein files, mistakenly, if they were in the Epstein files, if this show was in the Epstein files mistakenly, a lot more people would know about it, and they would be like, "Oh shit, we need to check out this show."
Oh, dude,
bro, I just don't give a fuck. I'll say anything.
No, and honestly, for the most part, I'm the same way. And that honest is the beauty of not being monetized, not caring about making money from doing this. Me and Jeff, and honestly, David, for the most part, I mean, he's on fucking like every single day for an hour between 9 and 10 for DeFi High. He shows up for the Red Pill. He shows up for a lot of shows. He's not paid. I'm not paid. We all do this because we believe in what it is we're fucking talking about. And that's the fucking beauty of all this. It's like decentralized fucking finance or crypto. It's getting deconnected from just the bullshit and the spoon-fed fucking information and data that we're force-fed. And and not to say that everything we say is going to be correct or right. And this is my closing thoughts. I'm fucking drunk, excuse me. But this is the you need to do your own research. But we want to bring an opposing view to what is being spoon-fed out there. So it's our purpose isn't to make everything that you hear from us to be 100% factual. It's for us to throw ideas around and for you to decide what you want to lock in on, what you're interested in, and to go out and do your own research and decide what your opinion is on that. And I'm fucking slurring again. To inspire. It's meant to inspire you to think for yourself. That is the most important thing when it comes to crypto, when it comes to politics, when it comes to any religion, anything. Think for your fucking self. Don't be told by a hive mind what to think and what to invest in and what to. That is the.
You gotta own your speech. You gotta own your mind.
David, closing thoughts. David,
bro,
take it away.
Literally, the only reason why I'm here is so that I can use these 3 words together. The faggot nigger Jew is fucking. But no, seriously, you gotta fucking be careful, okay?
Here that's the beauty. Like I said, I don't care if one person's watching or nobody's watching. 3 of us are having a great time.
Oh my god, dude. No,
fuck everybody else. The 3 of us are having a great time.
It's free speech, dude. Like, if you don't like what I'm saying, fucking
turn the fucking
I'm
channel.
Sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Turn the fucking channel. I don't give a fuck.
Did that get you triggered? Are you triggered? Are you triggered?
If you're that, you know what? If you're that sensitive, this is not the fucking place.
Come on, man. Like, just let it go, dude. It's just a word. It doesn't mean anything.
But that's it. No, David, hold on. That's fucking important. We need to latch on to that. Words. You need to understand. Words have meaning. And yes, they're going to invoke emotion. They're going to invoke, whatever. But you need to have the discipline to be able to take that in with all other data, and especially unemotional data, analytics, just those things.
But Mike, I don't take in the Jewish data. Okay.
The what?
The Jewish data. I think that there's
It's
Jewish.
Skewed. It's skewed.
It's skewed, bro. It's skewed, and it runs the fucking media. And I don't know what to believe. But
all right. So Jeff, we'll come back around to David, but closing thoughts, Jeff, and yeah.
Oh my God.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Live by the.
Right.
You can be upset with somebody if they're talking shit about your family or whatever, but just brush it off, like like water off a duck's back.
There you go.
You can't just fucking...
Hold on, Jeff. Are you drinking?
I had some tequila earlier.
Oh, okay.
Jeff, what type of tequila do you drink?
Reposado.
Okay.
Yeah. I got this Don Fulano. It's like a $70 bottle of
Don
tequila.
Julio? Don Julio?
No, Don Fulano.
What the fuck?
This
is
tequila
like a knockoff of Don Julio?
No, dude, it's
I like Tito's.
It's pretty bougie. It's pretty bougie. I'll have to send you a picture. Yeah.
As far as like dollar value and quality, dude, Tito's is the shit.
Bro, $70 for some Reposado is really nice, though.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. No.
I can drink.
There's
I
something
can drink
to be
that,
said
and it's
for
like
different liquors or different spirits at different price points. There really is something to be said for that.
I don't have any fucking hangover if I drink, too much.
Yeah.
The next day, I feel great. But
oh yeah, but if you drink Smirnoff, in a plastic fucking bottle, you're gonna be hungover the next day.
You're fucked. Yeah.
No.
All right, David, closing thoughts.
Yeah, man. Look, I think that what we talked about with Colin earlier tonight, I think that once Colin starts to build on Lightning and Nostr, he will understand that
he will see the way.
He will see the light. Because the difference is between this system where you're beholden to the government and the system where you are not. So it's really, do you want to be free or do you want to be a slave? Do you want to escape the matrix or not? And so that's what Bitcoin and Lightning are offering, an escape from the matrix. And I think that Colin is getting hung up on having to report. Fucking fuck that. So I really think that if he ever decides to build on Lightning and Nostr, he will love it, because what he knows of that protocol from 2 years ago, it's completely different now. Completely different. And
I definitely I don't know enough, about the advances and stuff like that, when it comes to like the Lightning Network. And
bro, it's amazing.
Again, I'll never pretend like I know something that I don't know something about.
I'll show you next week.
No, and that's awesome. I would love to learn about that, but I really want to stress that you really need to seek out freaking information outlets that ensure that they give you fucking actual factual info. Because what me and David talked about on DeFi High earlier today and every day is listen, watching what the information that's being passed to you and not being emotional about it, because emotion is your worst enemy when it comes to investing, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to a lot of things. You want to feel emotions, but you don't want emotions to dictate how you react physically and mentally to a situation. That is the crux. And that's where the discipline comes in, is registering the emotion, processing the emotion, allowing it to be a part of your decision process, but not allowing it to dictate what your physical and emotion physical and I guess emotional reaction is to a situation. Would you agree, David?
Bro, I'm looking at this fucking Dom Fulano that Jeff put in the chat.
Oh,
dude.
you're back to fucking vodka again.
This shit.
I'm trying to throw down some alpha, and you like fucking like right like.
I was looking at the tequila, man. It looks so good.
No,
it's with volcanic spring water.
Bro, it looks amazing.
Jeff seems to be a connoisseur of tequila.
Yes. Yeah. It looks really good, dude. I'm sorry,
yes, Mike. Mastery of the mind, and
I got distracted by the tequila.
Oh, you're all good, brother. That's what this is all about.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody got anything else to add before we close this out?
I don't know. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll see you tomorrow.
Watch out for the PDFs.
So
I know.
Join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. for our Monday through Friday DeFi High, where we're just going through the course material that David has put together in DeFi University. It is entry level DeFi. I know it's something I struggled with, and I struggled with finding when I first got into DeFi. And it takes you step by step. You can go through it with us, where we break it down and we articulate different portions of it, or you can go through it at your own speed. If you learn very quickly, you can just read and understand. You can take quizzes. It's all there at DeFi University. Join us at 9 a.m. Monday through Friday. And then tomorrow, me and Jeff have Crypto and Chill. Yeah. So David might join us. We try to keep that very, very just me and Jeff and maybe one other person. Just to keep
watch out, bro.
What's that?
You better watch out, because those FNJs, man, they're hiding in the woodwork, bro. They're gonna come out for you.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know. I don't worry about too much. My life is pretty chill, so I just my only struggle is making sure that it stays that way. And cool, one of the reasons why we don't monetize, it makes life a lot more chill. So, well, if you gentlemen don't have anything else to say, I appreciate the chat for hanging in there with us. It's always good to have a good, healthy chat that gives us some input to where we can respond to and kind of shape the conversation, because honestly, that's kind of why we're here, is to give you all the information that you want to hear. And until next time, Veteran Crypto out.
Peace.